The role hung heavy on him last time out, but Steve Armisen says Joe Root's first stint as captain was hindered by previous selectors.
Ed Smith especially tried to make a name for himself in his selection of trying to get rid of Broad and Anderson, and unfortunately, Joe Root's captaincy fell short there. So I think the Mark II Joe Root will be a lot better than the one that won more Test matches as an England captain than anybody else.
Moises Caicedo says he hopes Enzo Fernandez will still be at Chelsea when the new season gets underway. The Argentine midfielder has been strongly linked with a move to Real Madrid, but Caicedo wants him to stay put.
I love Enzo. He knows I have a lot of respect for him. As we know, the player he is, not just a player, he's a great person.
Fernandez's potential suitor Real Madrid have their own transfer saga to deal with. Vinicius Jr. is yet to agree a contract extension, but the club are confident he'll remain in Spain despite interest from Arsenal. Vinny Jr. says the start to pre-season under new boss Jose Mourinho has gone very well. And former FIFA president Sepp Blatter says the time is right for a woman to lead the organisation. As current Gianni Infantino clings to power with member organisations withdrawing their support in him, Blatter has backed the president of the Norwegian Football Federation, Lisa Klaveness. Get more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Thames Valley Police have criticised plans to release PC Harper's killers, saying it's demoralising, and more than 150 migrants have been rescued in the Channel after the boat they were using caught fire. Amelia's got more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. The season's changing, so get your car's shim pads and studs checked for summer with a free vehicle safety check. Book in centre or at quickfit.com today.
Persistent, at times heavy rain will continue in the north with the risk of hail and thunder across Northern Ireland. Scattered showers elsewhere, mainly in western areas, but dry in the south with some warm temperatures.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings. Coming up on today's show, Arsenal's £75 million offer for Bruno Guimaraes was rejected, but they're expected to go in with a bit more. But the question is, how good is he? Is he a current Premier League top 5 midfielder? Maybe. UEFA are looking to boycott the next FIFA Club World Cup, but do you care about the competition anyway? We'll also give you our all-time Liverpool and Chelsea Premier League 11s as we ask whether the two clubs are anywhere near a title challenge, and we're asking whether Mauricio Pochettino has a future in the Premier League. He has committed to the United States men's team for another 3 years. All that plus Adam Smith, the voice of boxing, will join us as we look ahead to a few of the evening's pre-season fixtures as well. This is Drive on talkSPORT. Maybe you can get involved 03717 223344.
Let's smash up Oladipo. I'm quite robust, you know.
Yeah, that one you certainly did say. Mr. Rory Jennings is back.
I said both of them, and when I said I was going to smash you up in that quiz last week, I actually was very true to my word.
That wasn't the smashing up one.
That was what it was.
It wasn't the smashing up one, and you did. You smashed me up on a music quiz on a football show.
Oh,
congratulations!
Mate, no, it was bad, though.
Congratulations!
No, but it was bad, wasn't it?
How do you feel?
It was a bad level of whoopery.
This is the top of the Pops quiz show, is it?
It was a bad level of whoopery.
It was a bad level.
Bad level.
I got whooped.
Mate, you would never expect my music knowledge to be that superior to yours.
I would.
Would you?
I actually would. I know just one album and one artist.
Really? What, Tupac?
Yeah, that's about it. I can't wait to have Adam Smith on, by the way. Loads going on in boxing. Moses Atalma versus Filip Hrgovic, August 29th. Quick plug for DAZN. Live on DAZN will be now for the IBF heavyweight title.
Huge,
good, isn't it?
Huge, yeah. That'd be great to speak to Adam Smith as well.
Yeah. He's just the knowledge. We're in Dublin over the weekend with each other. What a wonderful place.
Yeah, Dublin's a great city. It's such a safe bet. Guaranteed good time.
Yeah, guaranteed good time. Guaranteed great energy. Free arena was bouncing. It was incredible. And it was a good place to be. I missed you on Friday and Monday.
No, it's a shame. It's a shame. I thought you were going to say in Dublin.
No, I don't miss you in Dublin. I make many a friend in Dublin.
I know you do, don't you? Yeah, it's great. Do you know, I end up in Dublin.
It's
a great place. I end up in Dublin once a year. I go over there for the poker, and it is such a brilliant city. It's just everything that I want in a city.
I'm not even a Guinness drinker, but you've almost by right, you've just got to have a Guinness.
Yeah.
I'm not a Guinness drinker.
Yeah, it's a beautiful drink. It goes down very well.
How have you been? You've been away?
Things are good, yeah.
Away with the family?
A little bit time away with the kids, yeah. It's nice to be back, though. Like, the lunacy of my young family is just...
You must have spent a lot of money as well.
I can't... No, far from it. Far from it.
Yeah.
Far from it. Very thrifty.
You took them to the park. We're going away, kids. We're going to the park.
No, we had a good time. We had a very good time, but it is a joy to be back, partly because they're crazy, and also there's a lot to get into. There's a lot of football to talk about.
There is. Let's start with it. Arsenal are still after Bruno Guimaraes, having had their opening bid rejected. So, where does he rank amongst the best midfielders in the league right now?
And then it comes to Bruno Guimaraes! Brilliant hit into the corner! Past the despairing dive of Vicario. It's a goal that's been coming. It's a goal that Newcastle deserves.
£70 million bid will not be successful, but I'm not sure Arsenal necessarily think it will be successful. And it could just be the start of the saga and where we're kind of going on with things.
That will make the midfield better, no doubt. And if they're going to battle on all fronts, it's a real good time because they've got a real settled squad who've now got over the line in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's danger signs for the rest of the Premier League if Arsenal get this one over the line. Newcastle right now, though, as it stands, have rejected Arsenal's opening bid for their midfielder and their captain, Bruno Guimaraes. He's now returned to pre-season training at the club, but has told him he wants to join the Premier League champions, Jeff Stelling. And Gabby Bonloho were on the breakfast show this morning, and they said it's in Newcastle's interest to let Bruno leave if he wants to.
He's reportedly said that he wants to join Arsenal. So the deal will happen. So from a Newcastle perspective, get it done. Yeah. Don't let this become Alexander Isak Mark II, which dragged on forever and benefited no one in the end.
You can't blame him, can you? Like Isak left, Gordon left, Tonali left. He's a captain, but he's probably thinking, I'm going to be probably guaranteed the Premier League.
Newcastle is, as you know, I think Newcastle's a fantastic football club and the supporters are incredible. But when you're one of their top players, and he's such a talisman there as well, and you see the people going through the exit door, you're inevitably going to be tempted.
We'll focus on the Arsenal side of things in a couple of minutes. Just want to touch on the Newcastle side of things, obviously, because look, when they were taken over, if you're a Newcastle fan, you were in just heaven, right? It was like, okay, we're gonna be as good as Man City. We're gonna dominate. We're gonna win Champions Leagues. We're gonna win the league. Certainly win the league. I mean, I think me and you predicted in 5 years they're gonna win the league. All of a sudden, your manager goes. Your best players are leaving the club, wanting now to leave the club, literally knocking on the door, asking to leave. I mean, as a Newcastle fan, it must be incredible. 2 years ago, you won the Carabao Cup, and you're thinking you're going to kick on from there. Now, all of a sudden, all those top players that helped you win it have gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's a disaster for Newcastle, isn't it? When you think about what Bruno Guimaraes is to them, when you think about the way that the Gallagate feel about him,
and how he feels about them.
Yeah, of course, it's a mutual thing. Of course it is. He was actually very critical, wasn't he, of the way that Alexander Isak conducted himself last year. So that isn't necessarily going to stand the test of time. The fact that he was suggesting that Alexander Isak didn't conduct himself in the best way is now going to age quite badly, potentially, considering that he wants to move.
And the fact he's asking to.
But you can kind of understand why. He is a class act. He is a brilliant player. He is also Newcastle's best player. He's their most important player. He's also their most popular player. He's the conduit between the players and the fans. Yeah. Like if you think about what St James's Park is, there always needs to be somebody on the pitch that represents the fans in the way that
and it's him.
And it's him.
And it's him. And that's why it's such a big one for Newcastle. I mean, you can understand the Isak one, and look, Newcastle fans loved Isak, right? Up until the point he said he was going to leave. Bruno leaving, your captain leaving just hurts even more. And then it goes on to strengthen Arsenal, who, I mean, they don't really need help in that department. Zubimendi or Lewis Skelly will be there. But the upgrade on those two, if Bruno goes into that position, and he will, it's phenomenal.
From Arsenal's perspective, I think this is just the perfect signing. I really do. I think it's exactly what they need. It's very unlikely that Declan Rice will be able to play the amount of football that he played last year. He is a wonderful player, Declan Rice, but in a very specific way, it feels like he's on his own in that midfield. Like I rate certain players. I think Zubimendi's a very good footballer. I think that the contribution of Mikel Merino is there for all to see. But Declan Rice is clearly the jewel in the crown of that midfield. And he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. If Arsenal season goes as well as they want it to, they'll play in excess of 60 games. I don't think Declan Rice, off the back of what we saw in the World Cup, off the back of the tournament that he had over there, off the back of the Premier League season, will be able to do that. So he will need help. And the way that you secure that help is by signing a Premier League proven midfielder who can play instead of Declan Rice and alongside Declan Rice.
Yeah, it'll be a player as well that Declan Rice trusts. I'm right. I'm with you. So you're right. I'm with you. I think Declan Rice does too much work in that midfield. And we spoke about it yesterday. I almost feel like it unleashes Declan Rice. All of a sudden, you can say to Declan, go. You can go and commit what you do. You don't have to think of running back now because you know what? I can also do that role and I can do it very, very well.
Yeah, but also what you're bringing in is you're bringing in a player that can play with Declan Rice. Declan Rice and Bruno Guimaraes as a midfield duo is about as intimidating as you can get. I'm talking sort of not only in world football at the moment. I just can't really think of two better midfielders that you could put next to each other at club level. Yeah. Like it really is elite. Yeah. Rodri and Elliot Anderson would be an example, but this is comparable.
No. Especially the way, when you think of what Arteta does, look how he set up his back line. It's almost as you won't get past us. Yeah. In terms of creating goals, that's up to the others to do. But in terms of not getting past, you're not getting past Declan Rice and Bruno Guimaraes.
No, but you see, this is the beauty. This is the beauty of both of them, particularly Bruno Guimaraes. If you think about what he did for Newcastle, you think about his responsibility in that team. He was their goal threat, whilst also being the foil for that defence. He would also create a lot of goals. His assists through the roof there. His goals hitting the back of the net through the roof. But tackles, interceptions, again through the roof. Then he's the personality of the team. I think Bruno Guimaraes signing for Arsenal, it's so detrimental to everything that Newcastle United want to be, or at least profess that they want to be. And it is exactly the way that Arsenal should be manoeuvring. When you win the league, you are trusted with a power. So a power is passed upon you. You are allowed to behave in a very bullyish way. You are allowed to almost command you can demand certain things from other Premier League clubs, and what you can do is you can go and pick the best. This is exactly what they should be doing. Going to sign a Premier League proven player who is also a Brazil international from a rival. This is how you actually retain a league title.
How much is it going to cost to get him out of Newcastle?
Interestingly, not as much as you think.
Well, they've already rejected 75. We're led to believe around 75 million. What number is it going to take? 90?
Newcastle's finances aren't in a strong enough position to reject a major bid. They aren't. They can't do that.
Yeah, but they're strong enough to the point where they've already sold Alexander. Look, Liverpool, you want Isak? Fine. You're going to have to break the transfer record. Or Tottenham, you want Tonali? Fine. You're going to have to break your transfer record. Like, in order to get their best players out, even Gordon going to Barca for 60, in order to get their best players out of the club, you do need to spend money. They're not giving out players for cheap.
No, that's true. But there is also a reason that Newcastle United are resorting now. They're adopting the Chelsea model that's been cast onto the ash heap of history and basically signing players who are 20 years old. There's a reason that the Newcastle transfer strategy is a 20-year-old kid from Hoffenheim, a 20-year-old kid from Ajax. Like, there is a reason that they're doing that. And the reason is because they can't be as splashy as they once were. So if someone does come in and offer, if Arsenal were to offer Bruno Guimaraes, 28 years old, it's Guimaraes' last real opportunity to sign for a club with genuine capabilities of winning major silverware. If he doesn't do it now, he probably doesn't get this move. Yeah. It's also his last opportunity to increase. It'd be on 200 grand a week. Arsenal give him what? 300 grand a week?
I don't know, 100 to it. Yeah.
Right? So this is Bruno Guimaraes' last opportunity.
I think he's going to have to be what he doesn't want to be. He's going to have to knock on the door and demand a transfer. Like, he's going to have to be exactly what you said about Alexander Isak and the stick that Bruno openly gave to Isak about wanting to get out of the club. I think he's going to have to do exactly the same thing. I think it's a lot more difficult to push a captain out of a club than it is any other position. As you say, he means so much to the club. And if Arsenal are going to want to come and get a captain, you're basically taking the heart out of the club, the soul out of the club. You want our captain, good luck.
I don't think so.
Well, it's already 75's been rejected.
No, but I don't think it's
they're going to have to go. They're going to have to go in with 90.
No, I don't think it's as difficult as you're suggesting, though. You know, when you're saying you're going to take the captain, it's true, but it's a different ship now. If the ship were sailing,
agreed.
Like, you've already had so many people jump off it. You've already lost the captain in as much as Eddie Howe's gone. Like, this is now. It's up for grabs.
What do you think he would be worth? Like, remove all this. If forget it's Arsenal. If Bruno was up for sale today, what's Bruno's valuation? 28 years old, international, starts, by the way, as well.
I don't see how he's much less than Sandro Tonali. If Tonali's a £100 million footballer from the same club, I don't see. Also, Tonali left the midfield that was arguably better because Guimaraes was in it. Guimaraes leaving has almost been justified because Tonali's no longer there. Yeah. It's almost been justified. Like, you know, if you're a Geordie, and I imagine that you would be fairly irate with Guimaraes because of the love. When you love someone that much, that's why the Scousers hated Torres, because they loved him so much. Yeah. When you've loved Bruno Guimaraes this much as the Gallagate has, they're going to be livid. But it's kind of understandable.
I think if they're honest, they'll be like, look, everyone's going. He's going to go, isn't he? There's this acceptance that Of course he's going to go.
Of course he's going to go. And on some level, you can't really be anti him going. If you're rational, football is beautiful because it's irrational. Like, I never understood why Eden Hazard or Arjen Robben wanted to go to Real Madrid, because football is irrational. But if you remove the bias and the allegiances, of course you can make sense of this. You're joining the Premier League champions. You're going to get a huge amount of money. You're almost definitely at Arsenal this year going to win the Premier League. Like, barring a disaster, particularly if he goes.
Yeah.
If their midfield options suddenly goes, like, you take Norgard out of the Arsenal squad and you put Guimaraes in it, you look at that elevation.
It's incredible, that is.
Yeah.
Top 5 midfielder in the league?
Guimaraes?
Yeah. Forget numbers. Forget the 6, the 8, the 10, the 4. Just midfield. Just blanket midfield.
Well,
is he a top 5 midfielder?
Yeah,
in the league?
I mean, I haven't thought about ranking it like this, but
Yeah,
I think it would be almost impossible for anyone to name 5 better midfielders than Bruno Guimaraes. Almost impossible. I'd put you to the test. I'll put some names forward. And
Okay, Rodri, obviously.
Okay, Rodri is better.
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice is currently better.
Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai is an argument.
Szoboszlai's better, isn't he? Szoboszlai's better than Bruno.
I think they're comparable. I think Szoboszlai had a better season, but it's also important to remember that Bruno Guimaraes, when he was fit, had a brilliant season. Newcastle, in fact, couldn't win a game unless he was playing. You know that? Have you seen that stat? If Bruno Guimaraes was out, Newcastle got beat.
Caicedo. In terms of what they both do, you know, in terms of when you think of putting out fires.
Szoboszlai
is he better than Caicedo?
Szoboszlai, Caicedo, Guimaraes, they're all part of the same conversation. Yeah. Declan Rice is better. Declan Rice is better. Rodri is better. Elliot Anderson.
Is he better than Elliot Anderson? I think he is.
I think Bruno Guimaraes is one of the best players in a Brazil side. I know he missed the penalty against Norway.
Mate, it's not hard with the midfielders, Casemiro and Paquetá.
No, but he's the best player.
Very difficult.
The 2 best players, and this again is testament to what Arsenal are doing and the power of Arsenal Football Club at the moment. The 2 best players in the Brazil team in a World Cup year were Vinicius Junior and Bruno Guimaraes, and Arsenal potentially got dibs on them both. You know what I mean? Like that's a statement.
Not a bad position for Arsenal fans to be in, is it? All right, for the latest on Bruno Guimaraes' potential move to Arsenal, make sure you check out today's talkSPORT Daily, wherever you get your podcast from, because our reporter, Ben Jacobs, has everything you need to know. All right, we're taking your calls on this one. Arsenal fans, get in touch. You must be excited. 03717 223344. As he said, the upgrade and the elevation, if you get Bruno Guimaraes, is frightening. It's scary. All of a sudden, your midfield is Odegaard, Declan Rice, and Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you're banked to win the league. 03717 223344. Come and have your say.
Having won the league last season, I mean, you mentioned this to me in the break. Do you think it's more emphasis on the Champions League this time?
Possibly, without wanting to obviously downplay anything else around it. Possibly there will, within the camp, that little bit of extra determination to try and get over the line in the Champions League. They'll be right in there again. Champions League is such fine margins, those matches, when you get to the quarters and the semis of those games, you can be in pole position with 10 minutes to go and go out. It's very, very difficult to absolutely guarantee anything at that level and that stage of that competition. They're the team to beat in the Premier League. I think the squad, I just looked at the squad again, Jeff. They've got so many good players. I mentioned to you about William Saliba obviously being out for a bit, not sure of back injury, and backs can be a bit weird. You can feel like it's all clearing up, then all of a sudden something doesn't feel right again. They can frustrate you. But they've got Nkapie, they've got Calafiori, they've got others that can all play alongside Gabriel and cope admirably in that position. Still got, as far as I'm aware, unless I've missed something, but they've still got players to cover pretty much every position, every eventuality. So they're in great shape, great health. And if they get another big one through the door, another real top draw player, and I'm not sure who that is and in what position that would necessarily be, but I think if they sent a message in that respect, oh wow, they're going to take some stopping.
Well, obviously it looks like Bruno Guimaraes is going to be through the door.
He's the one. Do you like him?
I love him.
Microphone checker, screaming soft nectar, supreme net protector. Why didn't you give me these type of songs? See, if Billy Wiz gave me these, would have been alright. Bit of Method Man. Didn't do this, did he? Would he give me Amy Winehouse and what else?
Yeah, but mate, that's the whole point of a quiz, isn't it? The quiz doesn't tailor to you specifically.
Well, 1 second. You went to school with Amy Winehouse. Kind of tailored to you, didn't it? What more tailoring can it do to you? Because if you go to the same school as the person they're playing the song with. All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo. We've got starting brands for every single man. Still to come, we are going to be joined by the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith, the best commentator in boxing by a million miles. Just quickly, Fulham have signed Gonzalo Garcia and Cesar Palacios from Real Madrid on 5-year deals. Alvaro Arbeloa. Look at that. All of a sudden, Arbeloa comes in the door and he signs Real Madrid players.
Yeah, of course.
That's how it works, all right? In cricket, former England captain Ben Stokes said he would love to become coach of the national team in the future. And talkSPORT understands that Bruno Guimaraes is expected to leave Newcastle's Spanish training camp in the next 24 hours to undergo his medical at Arsenal. The fee is expected to be worth around £80 million. All right, we're taking your calls now. Where does Bruno Guimaraes rank among the best midfielders in the league? 03717 22 Let's go to the phone lines first. Let's go to Seamus, Arsenal fan. Seamus, you get him, league's over, isn't it?
No, I don't think he's a priority for us, to be honest with you. I'm not getting overly excited by all this talk of signing him. Our priority is someone like Kvaratskhelia, someone like Doué, someone like Alvarez. I think we've got enough about us in the middle, and that is with resting Declan Rice and also Saka. If anything, we might want to look at a wide left player. Nico Williams might be worth looking at. And if anything, we possibly need to have a look at Konsa coming in for Saliba, who could be out until November. But Guimaraes, he's not worth that money, 80 million. He's not. He's all right, but he's not good. He's not top draw. Tell me what Brazil did in the World Cup, please.
Nothing. I was watching him. Not much. And he didn't do much either, if I'm honest with you. And like Rory, I think he's right, Seamus. In terms of priorities, not saying that they don't get him, it doesn't elevate, but priorities is through the middle. I don't think Gyökeres is the answer. He's good, but he's not the answer. If you can get Julian Alvarez, you go for him. And he's right. Left wide.
Declan Rice, Zubimendi, it's unsustainable what you're asking of them at the moment. Now, you have to then decide, is Lewis Skelly the answer? Lewis Skelly will obviously ease the burden on those players.
Played in the Champions League final.
Yeah, absolutely. But is Lewis Skelly enough? I would say no. I would say that it's completely unsustainable to expect Declan Rice to have the season again that he had last year, to ask Zubimendi to do the job that he did last year again. At some point, you need reinforcements, and those reinforcements can be Premier League proven, internationally proven.
But you've got 80 million. Don't that 80 million go through? Don't you look through the front line first and say, okay, we need 80 million on that? One thing we accused Arsenal of last season is not scoring and creating enough chances. That was one thing there was a...
sorry, forgive me. I didn't realise that this was an either-or. If you're asking me, should Arsenal sign Bruno Guimaraes or Vinicius Junior, I'd say Vinicius Junior. But that doesn't mean that the midfield doesn't need to be looked at just because the forward line needs to be looked at.
Yeah, I guess it's the priorities. Let's go to Jim, the Newcastle fan. Jim, you probably heard me earlier saying I feel sorry for Newcastle fans. What's going on at the club? Your manager, Eddie Howe, leaves. All your best players. It looks like a jumping ship. You can't lose your captain, can you, a couple of weeks before the start of the season?
Hi, lads. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're fine, mate. Yep.
Yeah, so out of the three that have left, I was speaking to my daughter while I was on holiday because all this news came out while I was on a cruise, and I had to Google half the players that we were signing. So it'd be nice to get someone that you didn't have to Google. But out of all of them, Bruno is one that, from our feelings, he deserves the chance to. It's his last big move, and he deserves a chance to win trophies. At the level, I mean, we won a trophy, but we're not going to be competing for what he's going to be looking to in the last echelons of his career. So he would go with, I would say, the true fans most of blessing. It's a shame it's a Premier League club. He would look at Anthony Gordon and be thinking, I should be playing at Barcelona or Real Madrid. And when that happens, I personally would give him my wishes. But for all the money that's been spent, you've got to remember that Newcastle's midfield last year was found out. It was slow. It was, we had the same formation, and teams found us out. They passed around us. Now, they didn't always play together, Joe Linton, Tonali, and Bruno. There was a big patch of the January to April period where they didn't play together. Tonali never stepped up to the plate when Bruno wasn't in the team. He will get probably mixed feelings, because I was at the game when he came back from his suspension and at Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup, and he got a hero's welcome, and he'd hardly kicked a ball for us. Anthony Gordon, you can't turn down Barcelona. Probably good money for him and a good move for him as well. Bruno, it is the captain. That's the only thing. His kids are Geordies. They were born in Newcastle, but you can't stand in his way if he wants to win trophies. Probably deep down, it's probably hard for him as well that the club isn't in a position to follow through on the Carabao Cup win. But again, he probably in a team where there's multiple good players, he will thrive on a rotation basis, which again, he's never been on a rotation basis. I just think we're maximising the amount of money we can receive for these players.
And I guess that's the important part, isn't it? Make sure you get as much money as you can from those players. Great call, Jim. Appreciate it very, very much. Interesting to hear different sides of it. One Arsenal fan saying we don't really want him, not priority number one. A Newcastle fan saying, yeah, look, he can leave with our best blessings.
Yeah, it was also very interesting, I thought, that he's being quite courteous about him, suggesting that Guimaraes deserves this move, suggesting that it's his time because he's been a loyal servant to the club.
I find that crazy.
Yeah, I don't necessarily extend such
that at all.
Yeah, such charitable.
I don't want anyone to leave my club. I'm certainly not saying, oh, there you go to Arsenal and have a Premier League.
Although I imagine Jim may not have said the same about Alexander Isak.
Certainly didn't. All right, still to come, we are going to be joined by the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith. But first, it's time for no Googling.
Come on, Rory, here we go.
You ain't going to get this one.
I'm getting it.
No, honestly,
I'm getting it. Trust me. I'm going to
and
surprise you.
No one help him, by the way. Honestly,
they never help me.
No one help him at all.
They never do.
All right, here we go. Which player holds the record for the most consecutive Premier League appearances? Simple. Nice and easy one to start the day. Which player holds the record for the most consecutive Premier League appearances? Answer when we come back.
Let's talk about Jack Grealish. Obviously, you bumped into him on holiday. Everton opted against a 50 million buyout option, but I saw in the Liverpool Echo, 83% of Everton fans want the club to sign Jack Grealish. Do you think he'll end up there?
I think there's a good chance he will, but I didn't understand the £50 million that Man City thought they were going to get. A year left on his contract. Like, you're never going to get that sort of money. For Manchester City, if they can get a fee at all, because it's a club like Everton or wherever Jack signs for might be like the wages, maybe we'll cover the wages for a year and then that's it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But seeing him over in Mallorca, he was fit. He was training at Real Mallorca's training ground because they were away in Marbella pre-season. He's hungry. He's looking after himself. He's doing all the right things. And, you know, some players at 30, Jeff, he's won it all.
Yeah.
Doesn't need any more money. But he wants to play. He's addicted to football. He loves football. He would have been so jealous watching the players at the World Cup. He still wants to play at the highest level. And he showed that by the pre-season that he's had. So any reports as well that were fake reports you were hearing about being left out of Manchester City squad. No, I don't think he's clear to train for another 10 days.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure. However, Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings just gone for 30. Remember, with you until 7 o'clock. A few moments ago, we brought you the first no Googling of the afternoon. Very easy question, just to kind of get you started, just to get Rory Jennings started. We asked which player holds the record for the most consecutive Premier League appearances. I gave him a clue in the break. I said it's a goalkeeper. So the answer is...
David James.
No. Come on, couple more.
Paul Robinson.
No.
Petr Cech.
What are you even doing on talkSPORT?
Is that am I nowhere near?
No.
I could tell you that Frank Lampard held this record once.
Yeah,
and the fact that Frank Lampard held it, I think Frank Lampard actually broke David James's record, which is annoying why I said that. Do you know why it's so annoying? Because Frank Lampard played central midfield. Combative central midfielder, putting in tackles, risking bookings.
Goalkeeper doesn't count to you.
Goalkeepers don't count to me, no.
Can I give you the answer?
Go on.
Brad Friedel.
See,
August 2004 until October
goalkeepers
2012.
shouldn't be allowed to compete.
I agree.
I don't recognise the contribution of a goalkeeper at all.
No, I certainly recognise the contribution.
No, absolutely not. Not in terms of this.
Because it broke Frankie's record.
Frank Lampard doing it as a central midfielder. Frank Lampard doing it as a central midfielder is far more impressive than Brad Friedel doing it as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, Brad's on the line, by the way. Brad,
Brad, if he's an honourable man, he would agree.
Can someone phone Brad, please, so we get Brad on?
Brad will agree if he's an honourable man.
All right, still to come, we're going to be asking if anyone actually cares about the Club World Cup, but now it's time for this man.
There's a real feeling that this is the best versus the best.
White's lost control. White has lost control completely.
How many more do you want?
Lift off for AJ!
This is The Voice.
Certainly is The Voice as well. It's our weekly boxing feature where we are joined by the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith, for a roundup of all the latest stories. I was in lovely Ireland with Adam. I think he stayed there. Look at him. Hasn't come home. He's decided that's it. This is the basement now.
The fields of Athenry.
He's gone back to exactly the same spot. Adam, how are you, my man?
I'm very good. I'm enjoying Wild West Cork, which is beautiful, as you can see behind me. Yeah, I had a great time up in Dublin with you. Fantastic fight night. And then a few days in West Cork, where we come every year, and then back for Leeds on Saturday. So, yeah, lovely times.
I want to start with a bit of sad news. Obviously, we were there, and as we got to the venue, we were hearing the news about Lee Reeves, the young boxer who fought Gary Cully on that card. And obviously, as we were doing our meeting, we saw him go past us on the stretcher. At the moment, we're hearing his condition is stable, but critical as well. So look, I guess prayers and thoughts to Lee and his family from everyone. And it's always sad to see. We understand the dangers of the sport we love, but it still isn't easy to see it when it's right in front of you.
Very, very tough. And our thoughts, our prayers, our love to Lee and his family in these very, very difficult days. Yeah, I saw a bit of the fight, and then we had our meeting, and it was horrible to see him stretch it out, but he'd have been taken and put into an induced coma and operated on and given the best support possible, I'm sure, in Dublin. And yeah, look, a lovely fella, and so many people are saying so many wonderful things about Lee in the last few days. There's sort of fundraising set up too. So this is where the boxing fraternity pulls together. You know, I was there when poor James Murray and Spencer Oliver obviously had his injury, Paul Ingle. I've been ringside for a few of them, and it's very, very difficult times. But, you know, the technology and the medical attention that he'll be getting will be second to none. So let's hope that he pulls through, and we're all behind him.
Well said, indeed. All right, let's start with a bit of breaking news today. Italma versus Hrgović, August 29th. Big fight. It's got even bigger now. The vacant IBF heavyweight title is going to be on the line. I almost likened it to Frank going all in here now with Italma. It's a big venue, the O2 Arena. He's fighting a top 10 guy. It's a world title fight. It's on pay-per-view. It's almost like them saying, okay, you are our guy. Let's prove it and let's show it.
This is it. And to become the second person after Mike Tyson in terms of age to be crowned world champion, if, of course, he beats Filip Hrgović, which is no easy task. Hrgović, we know, a world-class operator in that level for a long, long time. Great amateur, very, very difficult to contest with. But Moses, I think, is something different. I think he's unique. I think he's got the southpaw speed and skill and IQ for a young man, which shows a huge amount of maturity. We saw him on Saturday night. I think he's ready for this, and it's brilliant from Frank Warren as Usyk vacates the titles. You can see Agit Kabayel being crowned WBC champion, and now he'll look to get Moses the IBF version. Great work as well behind the scenes with Team Frank Sanchez, who, of course, is in that position for the IBF title, but is he wanted time before he fought for it for the full version. So I guess he allows this fight to go ahead, and then by Christmas he'll fight the winner of Itama and Hrgović. But yeah, it adds something, doesn't it? It adds a real sparkle now, if there wasn't one already, at the O2 on August the 29th. Moses Itama, can he be coronated as world champion already after so few fights? And I don't think there's many people who don't think he will become world champion, but is the time right now? Frank doesn't make many mistakes, but on Saturday night we saw what happened with Pierce O'Leary, big crowd favourite, and being turned over by Mark Chamberlain in a thriller. So you don't know what happens in a few weeks' time, but Moses will be big favourite, and the IBF title might be his come August the 30th.
And thinking about this fight against Hrgović, how much of a test do you think it will be for Itama?
Rory, I think it's the right test at exactly the right stage of his career. They are fast-tracking Itama. All the other heavyweights believe in Itama. You heard Alexander Usyk when he was with Ade in Saudi the other night on his own fantastic interview for 15, 20 minutes when they looked at the chart of all the great heavyweights of this generation, the sort of young stars coming through, Adam Alanian and Leo Atang, the younger generation. But, the old guard like your Furies, your Joshuas, your Wilders, sort of on the way out. And Moses is the one that everyone's backing. And I think you hear that from Tyson Fury, you hear that from Anthony Joshua and others, that they believe, and Usyk's picked him himself, that he believes he's the heir apparent. But he's still got to go and do it. He looks to have everything. He looks to have the speed of a middleweight and the power of a heavyweight. He looks to have that sort of cold, calculated, predatory instinct when you finish a fight. He also looks to have that sort of intelligence to listen to Ben Davison and his team. I think they're onto a massive thing with Moses Itama. But, and it is a big but, Filip Hrgović has been there and he's done it, and he's very, very hungry, and he's got momentum, and he's training hard in Big Bear with Abel Sanchez. So look, if he does a job on Hrgović, which many expect him to do, then that will be a real statement. But yeah, it is a step up, a big step up from Jermaine Franklin. But that's the belief that pretty much everyone has in Moses Itama.
It's hard not to look beyond Hrgović, and obviously, look, Ben Davis and Lee Wiley and Itama won't do that, so we can have that fun and do it ourselves. When you see the door closing on AJ and Fury in terms of their length of time left in the sport, and you can think of big stadium fights like Wardley versus Itama and Dubois versus Itama eventually, and you mentioned a couple of young ones coming through who could meet him as well. But Dubois versus Itama just feels like, look, Frank's got both of them and he'll keep them apart until he has to put them together. But that just seems to be carnage and chaos all rolled in one. Wembley Stadium, Tottenham Stadium. It feels like a big fight that's brewing.
Well, Fabio Wardley will have one or two things to say about that. Remember, he's got the rematch first against Daniel Dubois. What a fight it was at the beginning of the year. An absolute bloodbath, a terrific up and downer. Dubois getting up a couple of times, and we saw what it meant to him and what he showed that night, Daniel Dubois. And Frank's had him from the beginning. He's had Moses from the beginning. He's now got Adam Alani, and the conveyor belt keeps coming in the Queensberry heavyweight stable. But yeah, I mean, those fights are mouthwatering, aren't they? And Caballel too holds the WBC, the WBO with Dubois. But let's get that rematch announced. I think that's heading for the autumn time. So let's see what happens when Wardley and Dubois meet again. He activated the rematch clause, Team Wardley. So Fabio has a chance in that. We saw when he did early doors against Daniel, although Daniel will start a favourite this time. That's still a piece of the puzzle to get through. But yes, absolutely. If Itama wins in a few weeks' time, maybe defends against Frank Sanchez, you can imagine what 27 holds. I don't think Fury and Joshua will want to go anywhere near him. I don't think Usyk will want to go anywhere near him. And I think it will be up to Frank to navigate the path to maybe trying to become undisputed or a unified world champion, Moses. He's so young, of course, that there's so much time ahead of him. Heavyweights don't really mature until they're 30. So once he's there at that level, at that world title level, yeah, he's going to have to stay there, and he's going to have to build further, which is tough. So they obviously feel that he's ready and right. And he looks older than he is, doesn't he? And he acts older than he is. I mean, you were chatting to him on Saturday night, and he just seems to be very comfortable in his own skin. He's got full belief, and he wants to take on everyone. Love it.
Yeah, Adam, you mentioned them both there. We obviously have to now spend a bit of time talking about Fury versus AJ. Both obviously won their warm-up fights in the last couple of weeks, but they're going to be facing off later this year. It is going to be a huge occasion of British boxing. What's the latest on it? Like, when are we expecting this fight to take place?
Yeah, well, I keep hearing November the 14th at Madison Square Garden as the date, but then there's people saying maybe it'll be delayed into 2027. Maybe AJ is better off taking another fight first. Fury wanted 3 fights this year, Makhmudov. Then we saw him have his workout in Thailand against Marius Vac. So it makes sense for Fury right now. What will Team Joshua be thinking? Will they be thinking straight in for it? The fight has been agreed. Frank Warren told us that on Saturday night. It's just a case of where and when. I keep hearing that. We all wanted in the UK, of course. Would they delay it until the springtime or summer and put it at Wembley and maybe give another interim fight? But again, another banana skin. We saw what happened with Christian Pringa and AJ in that first round. I think they really have to get this fight on. And I think people want it on. I think they're getting tired of waiting and waiting. So my gut is that it will happen in mid-November in New York.
Hope it does. Fingers crossed. Because we're all getting bored of it, Adam. I feel like I've been talking about that fight for nearly a decade. Adam, as always, appreciate you, for coming on. Fantastic setting, isn't it? And background. Well, you've got to appreciate us as well.
I love that. Yeah, thanks Adam, for coming on. I'm sure you appreciate us.
Ways. He talks to us, we talk to him. Yeah, it works both ways. It's funny because me as a boxing fan, obviously someone that works in the sport, I find it boring. I can't imagine you not finding it boring, this Fury AJ thing. I find it very boring.
Yeah, I don't know if boring's a...
Of course it is.
I don't know if I'd use the word boring.
When something's been dragging on a decade, it does become boring.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we need a definitive answer now. I think it needs to happen. There is a problem though, isn't there? Like AJ in that previous fight. Like the reason why people wanted it.
When you keep rolling the dice,
yeah,
all of a sudden anything.
Well, it also becomes less and less appealing, doesn't it?
Yeah. That being said, I'll go to New York and watch it. By the way, if you fancy watching a bit of Paul, Andy Goldstein
taking a lead,
3-2 up against Michael Yednak. Incredible. Although he is a ranked pool player now, Goldstein. So maybe me taking a mick out of him was wrong. But that right now is over on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. When we come back, Fern Buckley's going to join us for Paddy's Bet Builder.
My issue is, and you say he's in a minority of one at the moment, I'm not sure he is because, we haven't seen the African Federation, for example, come out against him as yet. And you know what? I've got this feeling he won't be forced to resign because he's shown his vanity. He's shown this astonishing lack of self-awareness. It's absolutely beyond belief that I think he will be so difficult to prize out of his position. David Bernstein's going to be on later on, and he will tell us how difficult it was to get rid of Sepp Blatter. And I think we're in a similar situation.
That's a good point. Yeah, look, I totally understand that. But I know that he lost a couple of seniors, people in senior positions. I think over the last few days at FIFA, people have resigned. And I just always feel when that sort of stuff starts happening, when others that a few weeks ago were reasonably close to him, all of a sudden have now just gone in the middle of the night in a puff of smoke, they're out the door, and I'm sure others would be tempted to follow. I just feel that I don't think it's going to happen quickly, Jeff, whatever's going to happen. I'm sure it's going to be pretty protracted and drag out over the months ahead. But I do think eventually this will end with someone stepping forward, a credible contender that they feel could take FIFA forward in a different direction. And I'm pretty sure eventually something will happen and he'll probably stand down.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Still to come, we're going to be picking our all-time Chelsea and Liverpool Premier League lineups. That's hard. That's hard. Combined's going to be hard because we're going to argue quite a lot.
I don't think it's that hard. I feel like it's
so don't
vast
say
majority
anything
Chelsea.
silly. Don't say anything silly. Can I very quickly, we'll get to it. Who's your bankers?
Chelsea?
Yeah, who's like
about 9 of them.
All right, silly. All right, time for this.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
All right, time now for today's bet builder with our friends at Paddy Power. Welcome to Fern Buckley, and we're looking forward to Friday's first round Carabao Cup match as Middlesbrough take on Wrexham at the Riverside. Fern, please remind us how the bet builder works.
Good afternoon, guys. It feels so strange being back so soon, and obviously the season mostly hasn't started yet. But yeah, we're back for this game. We've all made some picks across different markets, added them all together, got some overall value. Paddy Power have chucked a £10 bet on it, hoping we get it right. Because if we do, just like this season, it all goes to the Attitude Foundation, a charity bet which helps out the LGBT community.
Lovely. It does feel quick to be back, doesn't it, as well? She's right. The season just started. Like the World Cup just ended, felt like yesterday. And all of a sudden now we're back to proper football. It's a 5-leg bet builder. Here are our picks, fam. I've gone Wrexham to win, which probably is going to happen. Rory's gone both teams to score. Joe, our producer, has gone over 3.5 goals in a game, which could be a bit optimistic. What's the people's pick, Fern?
Yeah, what the people's pick is, they think that there's going to be goals at both sides. They think both teams have scored over 3.5 goals. It's quite a lot going on in this game. So just to go through a few of those picks. Wrexham, you've got the winning match. You've got 2 teams so close to the Premier League last season. But enough on Paddy Power. Wrexham are underdogs. Most people think it's going to be Middlesbrough that's going to take it in this match, and that's the popular pick. They're expecting a heavily rotated Middlesbrough side, though. So I think Wrexham could get an opportunity out of that, a victory for them. That's in at 16-5, over 3.5 goals. We've got 4 goals the last time these two played back in May. Both teams have performed well in pre-season, so over 3.5 is in at 7-4. And then both teams have scored coincides really nicely with our bet builder, which is 13-20. And then, so the people think there's going to be end-to-end pace goals across both halves. But also adding into our 3.5 goals market, that's nice. That's in 4-7. And my pick, I've gone with David Strelic to be an anytime goal scorer.
Yeah, good idea.
Great choice.
Can be a bit lethal. Break through a Wrexham back line that's been changed, or trying something a little bit different going into the new season. So that's in at 5-4. He's a super sub as well. So if for any reason he comes off, Paddy Power, protect your bet.
There you go. I love it. Go on, and the value. How much money are we making?
Not bad to start off the season, in competition like this. 27.5-1, so from a £10 bet, you can get a return of around 280 quid. And of course, if we get it right, the winnings go to the Attitude Foundation. And we want to start off strong, don't we, lads?
There you go. Nice, strong start for the charity bet there. Fern, appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. That's Paddy Power's. Cheers, Fern. That's Paddy Power's bet builder for today. Minimum odds 1-5 per leg, 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Did you, as a Chelsea fan, enjoy the Club World Cup last season?
Yeah, I did. Obviously, I didn't enjoy the season.
Yeah.
I think the Club World Cup is a great tournament if you win it, as long as you then follow it up with winning a league or whatever else. It doesn't make up for having the abject season that we had.
All right, UEFA, by the way, are threatening to boycott FIFA's Club World Cup. We're going to talk about it when we come back. Stick with us.
The good news about Areola is he went through this with Bournemouth. He lost the whole back four.
Yeah.
And he had some late signings at Bournemouth. And look how they turned out. And look what he did. And I'm pretty sure with the Liverpool ownership, I can be critical of any ownership, including my own, that over the years, they've spent money and they've won a couple of league titles. Last year, they spent nearly £500 million. You could argue that maybe they overspent in some areas and should have spent in others.
But that's hindsight. Nobody was criticising the window at the time.
100% everyone thought we'd walk the league. Yeah. And this is football 12 months later where everyone thinks now we're the worst top 6 team in the Premier League. So I dare say Liverpool will look very different by the time the window closes.
Let's hear from Dominic Szoboszlai, shall we? He was speaking ahead of that recent friendly against Leeds, and he discussed the Liverpool squad depth.
I think I can talk from everybody's side that we want to be successful this season, and it's a long term because obviously we have a new manager. The team has been changed, and it's maybe not in a couple of months, but in the long term, I think it will work out.
In the long term, it will work, says Dominic.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not a mug. He's just signed a new long-term deal. He sees what's going on. And by the way, they've got a lot of young talent in that squad. I know everyone's trying to say they need 10 new pieces or whatever else, but they still have a lot of good young players.
Feels like it could be a big year for Nguema, bearing in mind they're trying to sign wide players, but they haven't yet managed to get anyone.
He will be a sensation this year. I'll make a prediction that he'll win Young Player of the Year in the Premier League, without a doubt. And they're probably more confident because of him and because he can play left and right side.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by three men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
What was that you just said, Rory? What was that you just said?
I said some things are for on air and some things are for off air.
Andy Goldstein 4-3 down against Michael Jednak in the Florida Open. That game right now is on talkSPORT YouTube channel. Go and give him some support. Show him some support. He's having a go. Not a good go, but he's having a go. All right, listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings still to come. UEFA are pushing for a boycott of the 2029 Club World Cup. But the question is, does anyone even really care about it?
He spreads it through. It's João Pedro with a great opportunity. Oh, what a dream first half. This is turning into for Chelsea. João Pedro makes it 3-0, and they are cantering to the World Championship here.
The Club World Cup was a huge success. Everybody criticised it. Meanwhile, there were 32 teams, 2.5 million spectators in the stadium.
Everybody knows, I think, my views on the Club World Cup. I'm not having it at all.
It just tells me that this is a competition where the rich get richer.
Chelsea celebrate, the fireworks go off, and Chelsea are Club World Champions.
Yeah, talkSPORT understands. Turn it down. talkSPORT understands UEFA President Alexander Ceferin is pushing the European football clubs to boycott. He turns it right down, doesn't he? To boycott the 2029 FIFA Club World Cup. This would, however, require club-wide engagement with the 850 plus members. Infantino has been hoping to expand the tournament to 48 teams as well as launch a women's edition. But we're asking, would anyone care if it didn't go ahead? You know what? I actually didn't think it was that bad. FIFA Club World Cup. That's easy for me to say because I was obviously presenting it. But I actually thought it was okay. I thought the fans turned up. I thought the players took it really seriously. And obviously there's a lot of money involved as well. Obviously the winners of the Club World Cup, which were Chelsea, would have made a lot more money than the winners of the Champions League.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, but as soon as you start talking about money, you've already lost a lot of people. The reason why people love football is for a million reasons, none of them being financial. Like, there are people who love football for money, but those people...
So fans don't care when their clubs go out and spend 150 million and try and accrue the best players in the world. Of course they do. And that comes from
I don't think any football fan, and I certainly don't rate any football fan that has ever considered the value of the prize money when winning silverware. If you were a Liverpool fan and you watched any Liverpool team win any European Cup that they've won, if you were in the Metropolitano when they beat Tottenham, if you watched Emlyn Hughes lift it in Rome, if you were ever thinking about the money involved in that, then you've completely missed it.
It's changed though, Rory, and you know it's changed. I think football fans and economics now are actually quite heavily linked. You're right, back then, no, but I think football fans are so... And maybe they shouldn't be, but I think they are so ingrained into the money that comes into the clubs and what that money can be spent on. I think football fans have changed. I don't think
Chelsea won this competition, and I was quite pleased to see us win it. Obviously, if we're in a competition, I want us to win it rather than lose it. Even that would be true about when we won the Conference League.
Yeah.
That was true about that.
I love how dismissive of that.
Yeah, it's an insignificant trophy, but we won it, and because we were in it, I want us to win it. If Chelsea are in the Charity Shield, I'd rather we win it than lose it, of course. What I would say with regard to this Club World Cup is the feeling in this country isn't necessarily the feeling of football fans around the world. I remember in 2012 when we won the European Cup, we played in the Club World Cup, as it was then, not in this new formation of it, but we played in it, and we played in Tokyo. And I went over to Japan for our two games. We played a team called Monterrey from Mexico, and then we got beat in the final by Corinthians. Really annoying because I was desperate to win it. And when I was there in the stadium, I was desperate to win it. But being completely honest with you, and like not trying to glamorise Chelsea's support, I would say that we had 1,500 English Chelsea fans in the stadium. 1,500, give or take. I would say Corinthians probably had 40,000 from Brazil. Brazilian. Yeah. So both numbers were inflated by Japanese football fans. Yeah. So Chelsea Japanese fans probably
in terms of Brazilians
travelling, they're 40,000.
Wow.
They went potty. They went absolutely potty.
Why do you think they care about it more than we do?
I think it's their opportunity to beat European teams. I feel like they may think, perhaps wrongly even, that the Europeans get a lot of the money, a lot of the plaudits. We take the best. Vinicius Jr., one of the best South American footballers, plays here. Lionel Messi, arguably the best footballer to have ever lived, played the vast majority of his career in Europe. This is an opportunity for the South Americans to really state a case, to really acknowledge their place. And Corinthians beat us, and the outpouring of emotion in the stadium in Tokyo was unlike anything I'd ever seen before.
I think there is something about sort of British teams sneery to trophies that are not the FA Cup, Premier League, and Champions League. Like remember when Roma won the Conference League? It went potty in Rome.
Yeah,
potty. West Ham won it. It still went big. It was massive. Not as big.
No.
There's something about it. I don't know what it is.
I think we value we for one reason or another, and it's very difficult to put your finger on why. The Club World Cup doesn't much matter here. I'll tell you what it does do, in my opinion. If you win the league, and then you win the Champions League, and you're a bit of a dynasty team, then it's a great way of cementing that. It's a great way of saying, not only did we win 2 league titles in a decade, or 2 league titles in half a decade, then a European Cup, then we were in another European Cup final, but we then won that. I think it's great for that. But what Chelsea effectively did was qualify for this tournament through nothing to do with this regime, then win it, incidentally, and then have one of the worst seasons on memory.
Yeah, because ultimately you then sort of walked around with a badge that said you're world champions, which
I found quite embarrassing. Yeah, when Liam Rossini is getting absolutely slapped up in the pouring rain, like trying to control the football at Highbury and sort of embarrassing himself and our club. You know, when you think about the stain that was Liam Rossini on the history of Chelsea managers, that he was part of a team that had that badge on the chest. When we got completely embarrassed, I'll give you an example where I was just like, this is ridiculous. We got absolutely embarrassed by Paris Saint-Germain. It was men against boys. They were so much better than us. It was just a joke. Do you remember? I think it's when Garnacho was given a note to come on.
Of course I remember.
Do you remember, right? In that game over in Paris, weirdly, the game was competitive. We scored. Enzo Fernandez scores early. When he scores, he sort of runs off and he points at that badge. He points to the Paris Saint-Germain ultras, points to the Paris Saint-Germain keeper, and points at that badge. We beat you in America. We then conceded about 100 goals against them. So it's kind of irrelevant. I think it's great if you're champions. If Arsenal win the European Cup next year and then follow it up by winning that, I think it's great. If Chelsea win the league, then win the European Cup, then retain the Club World Cup, then it's fantastic. But if you just almost accidentally qualify for that competition and then win it, it does not paper over a season. Chelsea's season was abysmal.
No, it was abysmal.
Regardless of that win in New York City.
Of course. Although I will say, being there for that Chelsea game against PSG, I thought Chelsea were fantastic. And I thought it was going to kickstart something. I remember thinking, oh my God.
Yeah, it should have.
Pedro.
It actually should have.
It should have done something. You're beating PSG and you're slapping them up, and all of a sudden it didn't work.
But then you wonder how serious they were about it. Like when you think about how
I think they were.
But then
I just think
Luis Enrique got absolutely done. Luis Enrique is the best manager in the world.
Yeah.
And he got absolutely done by Enzo Maresca.
It can happen on a one-off game.
But look, Al Hilal
beat Man City.
Yeah. Like that can't happen.
Yeah, maybe the players were flat after a long season. Who knows? Do you think there's a place for it, or do we just go back to the old school where, as you say, when the European champions play the South American champions and a couple other teams are sprinkled in it, and basically you determine who's the best in the world? Or do you think there is something about this tournament?
I think there's something.
Right now it's once every 4 years, which I think doesn't help.
I think there's something for it. I think there's a place for it. Like just through sheer circumstance, I didn't get out to it, but I would have gone. Yeah. I would have gone. It's a tournament. It's quite interesting. It's an opportunity. Like when I was younger and I went over to Tokyo, I was in a stadium watching Chelsea play Monterrey. Mexican fans that was a great experience.
Yeah.
So I'm not particularly sneery to it as a concept. I'm quite sneery to it in terms of what it actually means.
You know, in reading this article, I remember just thinking, UEFA President Alexander Ceferin is pushing for European football clubs to boycott. I remember thinking, who does he think he is now?
Yeah, I know.
All of a sudden, because Gianni Infantino is so bad, he's almost trying to take the role of this angel on a horse
UEFA
that is here to cure football. UEFA aren't great either.
No. UEFA trying to be the saviour of football. Seferin trying to present himself.
Let's stop pretending that you guys are.
I agree. Like they've completely ripped fans off at every Champions League final. So let's not ever try and pretend that UEFA are the good guys here. What they might be is the less bad guys. But no. Look.
The less of two evils.
I tell you, Arsenal. One thing that can never ever be contested by anyone about Arsenal Football Club is the volume of support that they have. You think about the numbers. Equally, I've been to Paris a lot. Chelsea played in 3 Champions Leagues in a row, and I went over every time. The Parisian support is amazing. It's a fascinating football culture they've got there. It's the Boulogne boys behind one goal. I think they're called the Stadité behind the other. They both support Paris Saint-Germain. They don't necessarily like one another, but they both love the same team. They've got good support, Paris Saint-Germain. They've got good travelling support as well. They all went to Budapest and got what? 18,000 tickets each and paid through the nose for them. So let's not try and pretend that Ceferin is for the fans. Let's not try and pretend that UEFA are some fan-first organisation, because they're not. And any Arsenal fan that paid through the nose in order to watch his team play or her team play in a Champions League final will attest to that. And that's the same for every Champions League that we've ever seen. But what we can concede is that Ceferin, whilst maybe not necessarily being the oracle and the answer that he's presenting himself as, sometimes it's my enemy's enemy is my friend as a strategy. And if our enemy is Infantino, then Ceferin has the power to really put pressure on him, and therefore we should align ourselves with him for now.
What's we've gone back to Infantino here, because I could talk about Infantino until the count.
But it is all linked, isn't it, to the Club World Cup and to everything else?
It is all linked. I guess he's almost got two people that he's trying to appease, or two sets of people, right? He's got to appease the fans, which should always be first and foremost, because ultimately they drive the revenue. And then he's got to try and appease his members. And it seems as though he's trying to, especially for the smaller footballing nations, try to make them as much money as possible.
Yes.
It's not an easy thing to do here, is it? Appease the fans, making members as much money as possible.
Yeah. I think what Infantino will do here is align himself with the power. He will align himself with the power and the money, and that generally lies in the venture capital. And in Infantino's case specifically, it will lie with the president of the United States. The way that Infantino will try and cling on to power, the way that he will try and make sure that he remains in position, is by appealing to the
most powerful.
Yeah, appealing to the greed.
Yes.
Of Trump, of Trump's allies, of Kushner, of all of the venture capital. If you get those people on side, look, if you throw enough money at any problem, I believe that I don't agree with this as a principle, and it shouldn't be the case, but if you throw enough money at any problem, the problem invariably goes away. And I think what Infantino will now do is try and throw so much money at the people that can potentially save him.
I think you could be onto something. I almost feel like it could be the opposite. I almost feel like it's trying to make sure he's aligned with the smaller nations. Because ultimately, as we said, and we've been talking about this for a long time, Germany have the same votes as Curacao.
Yeah.
1 vote each.
Yeah.
If you can get the smaller nations where you can almost guarantee them income and money by saying, look, you vote for me. If we have to go to a vote to keep me in my job, you vote for me. And you guys know I've always looked after you. You're fine. I think it almost is a case of making sure that he's got all the backing.
But also, he's got some backing. You know, like I think Qatar. He's obviously got the backing of Trump. He's obviously got the backing of therefore the USA.
Yeah, which
I think Qatar, who were a very recent host of a very successful World Cup, Qatar have already suggested that they're pro-Infantino. I think Morocco, who are a significant footballing nation, have already suggested that they are Team Infantino.
Obviously, future World
Lebanon,
Cup, isn't it?
Lebanon, future World Cup, absolutely. Well, if you think about it in that way, actually, which is an interesting angle, Ade, you're looking at Qatar, who recently held a very successful World Cup, they back him. The USA, who recently held a very successful World Cup, they back him. Morocco, you're now looking into the future. There is certainly a world in which the power and the stars align. And when I say stars align, I probably mean the dollars align to keep Infantino in his place. I imagine that it's less likely than more likely. But until he's gone, he's not gone.
100%. We're taking calls on this. We're going to expand it a bit as well, because I do want to take calls on the Club World Cup. Again, I was there last year in America. I thought it was really, really good, but it's easy for me to say that because I was on ground watching live football. It'd be interesting to hear, does anyone actually care about the FIFA Club World Cup? Clubs make a lot of money. Fans abroad get to see their big teams play. But does anyone really care if UEFA boycott it? Because is it really going to stay the test of time? Not quite sure. 03717 22 33 Come and have your say.
No VIN, no fee. That's on the back page of The Sun, with also Arsenal target Vinny Jr. back in training with Madrid. You feel as though, if the Madrid deal happens, he will end up staying. But around Bruno, they've had a deal rejected for £75 million. So do you think Gabby actually, depending on how these plan out, Arsenal might have a quiet window?
Yeah, but they don't need a busy window. Just won the Premier League, and they're going to strengthen. They've lost Trossard. They brought in Zolis, who's a very good winger. If they bring in Bruno Guimaraes, I think that's enough to go again and win the Premier League anyway, even without him. But it's going to make them stronger. And I think he's a fantastic player. I don't think he should be the same fee as Tonali because of the age difference. 3 years older than Tonali. So you look at him, no sell-on value for Arsenal if they sign him. So I think 75, 80 is about right.
30 million less, okay.
Just because of the age I'm looking at.
Okay. Yeah. But they're not going to have... But how important is it that Arsenal do get in a midfield, especially at the start of the season, because they won't have Declan Rice?
Yeah, and they've sold Norgard to Everton, so you're looking at that midfield and you're saying it's a bit light now. I think it's a fantastic player. We're just talking, me and Jeff, off air. That probably says Zubamendi, maybe you're a squad player next season.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Bruno Guimaraes that he's reportedly said that he wants to join Arsenal. So the deal will happen. So from a Newcastle perspective, get it done.
Yeah.
Don't let this become Alexander Isak Mark II.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo. We've got style and brands for every single man. Still to go, and we are going to be picking our all-time Chelsea and Liverpool Premier League lineups. Not difficult, not easy. Very, very... Was yours easy?
Mine was easy.
Was it easy?
The difficulty was there were probably 25 Chelsea players that could stake a claim for this.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, but it was easy, really.
Yeah, there's
you had lots of players to choose from. Yeah, couple of.
Can I ask one? Just
on.
Robin?
Arjen Robben didn't make it, but he's one of the issues because Arjen Robben. When we signed him that first season, I remember it was Aaron Mokoena. Do you remember Aaron Mokoena at Blackburn Rovers?
Yep.
Aaron Mokoena broke Arjen Robben's foot in a game that we won 1-0. We beat Blackburn 1-0 at Ewood Park in February in a pouring rain. It was actually the night that we won the league. Bearing in mind it was February. Think how early that is. Yeah. We didn't officially win it, but we knew. And all the players threw their tops into the crowd and that. But when Aaron Mokoena did that to Robben, I'm convinced it's linked to the reason we didn't win the European Cup that season.
Oh, calm down.
Arjen Robben was completely unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable.
So unstoppable he didn't make your Chelsea Premier League 11.
Because of the injury, which is why I'll never forgive Aaron Mokoy.
That means, obviously, Hazard on the left. It's good. You've got a really good squad, you have. Just quickly, Coventry have signed goalkeeper Carl Rushworth from Brighton for around £22 million following a successful loan spell at the club. £22 million. Must have been like the top 20 most expensive goalkeepers of all time. No, he is.
Is he really?
He is, 100%. We're going to find that out, actually. We're going to find out. I think he is. In cricket, former England captain Ben Stokes said he would love to become coach of the national team in the future. But now we're taking your calls. Does anybody actually care about the Club World Cup? Get in touch, 03717 22 33 44. Marcus, the Spurs fan. Marcus, do you care?
Absolutely not. Only because technically we ain't never going to be in it. But what I wanted to say is that UEFA and FIFA are the two biggest crooks in football, right? And these are the two that run all the competitions that clubs and countries play in. So, like UEFA, if you're over 40 like me, you remember when the Champions League used to be European Cup, champions only, right? Money started talking, suddenly it became a Champions League, 6 teams from England, 4 from Mexico, 4 from like Italy, 3 from Germany, money talks, right? You had, just like the expansion of the World Cup, suddenly now we've got this bloated, overgrown, let's play some more football. Again, the Club World Cup in its original format, I think it was like 4 teams, a couple of games, boom, it's done. Away you go, you're champions. Now they've expanded that. How many teams, how many nations, how many games, how many what? It's been happening for the last, 30, 40 years, where the money has been poisoning the game, changing the attitude of the game. As I said to your producer beforehand, if you think about football and greed, you've got the greedy clubs who are prepared to take the money to play all over the place. I mean, just check out these pre-season tours, for instance, clubs playing in New Zealand and all over the place. After a long season and a World Cup season, they still want to travel all over the world. Right, so in the world we live in now, money talks, greed talks. It's unfortunate, it's a shame, but it's a fact.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I really do. And like we were talking about Ceferin a bit earlier, and I said, look, he's no sort of shining light on this stuff. And you forget about the expansion of the Champions League, how it was. He's right. When Liverpool sort of were one of the best in it in the European Cup days of the 80s, it was literally just one team.
I know. It's such a weird thing to say now, isn't it? It sounds so controversial. But, if I were to say, I think that the Champions League should only invite the champions of every nation.
Mate.
People go, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, how on earth can you justify the 5th spot in the Premier League?
Can't.
Like, that's a significant percentage of the Premier League make it into the European Cup.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's to prolong the tournament, to elongate the tournament. Like, we're already, if you qualify for it now. So Manchester United, let's pretend, I think they're going to have a good season, but let's pretend it goes really wrong for them. Carrick, it doesn't land, he struggles to juggle European football. Manchester United, the business of the team, the business that is Manchester United, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, they can guarantee 8 European nights. 8 they get. At one point, that would have been the tournament. Do you know what I mean?
And by the way, let's be honest, you've got to be really, really, really bad
not to at least get the 9th and 10th. Yeah.
You've got to be so bad not to qualify out of that league group.
Yeah. I agree. Also, for Premier
24, isn't it?
Yeah, for Premier League teams, you think about Tottenham last season. Tottenham were, by their own standards, I'm sure Tottenham fans will concede that this is true. Tottenham were abysmal under Frank, like laughable at times. Like if you think about the way that they played, maybe against Arsenal, whatever you think of Tottenham as an institution, when they play Arsenal, they make a game of it. Right? They're brave, they're aggressive, they go for the jugular. They might get beat, invariably they do, but that's how they're supposed to play. Under Frank, they were cowardly and they wilted. And that Tottenham team finished 4th in the league phase of the Champions League.
Yeah.
That Tottenham team. Thomas Frank was winning European games, beating some of the best from Germany.
What would you say is worse than the expansion of the World Cup with 48 teams or the expansion of the Champions League?
I probably both.
The Champions League, it's not... There's a lie just in the title of it. It's not the Champions League, is it?
I think you just have to make your peace with it now. Like, to be totally honest with you, this is going to sound very hypocritical. I think it was ridiculous to expand the World Cup the way that we did. But now it's been expanded, I actually think it needs to be expanded further. I think it needs to go to 64 teams. And here's my reasoning. Sorry, you're looking at me like I've said something wild. Let me justify it before you give me that look.
Go. I've already given you the look.
The reason why it needs to go to 64 teams is because one of the things that I found really, really pitiful about the World Cup that we just had was that the third place teams had the chance of qualifying.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember there was that period where Scotland thought they could make it?
Scotland were in the air, telling the pilot to hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in case we need to do a U-turn. Yeah.
Right. There is no world where you should be able to finish third in a group, maybe win 1 out of 3 games, maybe accrue 2 points, and actually make it through. So the way that you can get rid of that is by expanding to 64, then only 2 go through, and then you're down to 32. So if you're going to expand it to the level that we have,
just keep going.
In my opinion, go to 64, and then the top 2 from every group goes through.
Yeah, it's a mess, isn't it? But you could be onto something there. All right, still to come, we're going to ask Rory if Mykhailo Mudryk, very interesting question, has a future at Chelsea. But first, it's time for no Googling.
Right. Come on, Rory.
I've actually given up with you on this.
No, this is the one.
So
I'm going to ruin the game for everyone. I'm just going to blurt the answer out.
Okay, it's kind of your boys as well. Nicholas Anelka and Raheem Sterling are the only players to have played for 4 of the big 6 in the Premier League.
Right.
Nicholas Anelka and Raheem Sterling are the only players to have played for 4 of the big 6 in the Premier League. 5 other players have played for 3 of the big 6.
Definitely.
By the way, this doesn't include Danny Welbeck. We're not including Danny Welbeck.
Okay, I've got one already.
You name them.
I've got one already.
5 have played for 3 of the big 6. All right, give me the one you got.
Andy Cole.
You're wrong. What's wrong
God's
with
sake.
you? What's happened to you?
Okay, just give me a
Until we
second.
come back. No,
Put me under
until we come
pressure.
back.
Let's take a very quick call on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oliver is a Liverpool fan. Morning, Oliver.
Morning, how you doing, lad? You all right?
Yeah.
All right,
really good,
Oliver.
mate. Yeah. Would you like to see Trent back?
All good. I'd absolutely love to see Trent back. I think Mo Salah missed him very much last season. Obviously, Salah had a pretty poor season last season, but when he come back with Real Madrid, it was very frosty, and I think the damage is being done, to be honest with you, but I would love to see him back in a Liverpool shirt, yeah.
Look, there's no doubt. Nobody can doubt his quality. On the ball, he's as good as anything, anywhere.
He was winning games from right back. I mean, obviously the Barcelona game in 2019, that cross, and then I think he was very, very important when we won the league with Slot as well. So much quality, from right back.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, brilliant. I think a lot of Liverpool fans would share that view. They'd all love to see Trent back. Oliver, thanks very much indeed.
Maybe Jeff as well. Thanks, Oliver. You wonder though whether the player, having not really done it at Real Madrid, would want to sort of maybe at least stick around for another 6 months to see exactly where he figures and where he fares. He'll know pretty soon. As players, you get the vibe whether or not you're on you're part of the in club or whether you're on the outside of it.
Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Some are pretty straightforward. Arsenal are the Gunners because they were founded by a group of munitions workers, and Bournemouth are the Cherries because their old stadium was built right next to a cherry orchard. Then there's Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were 2 local toffee shops. Ipswich Town nicked their nickname off their opponents in the late 90s, Birmingham. The term Tractor Boys was chanted as a way to tease the team about their farming background, but they started using it themselves as a way to cheer on the team in victory instead. Take that, Birmingham. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Crystal Palace's nickname came from an extreme makeover. They were having a nightmare run in the 70s, and when they were relegated, their manager, Malcolm Allison, wasn't having it. I know what will make us better, he thought, a new nickname. The Strong and Deadly Eagle sounded like a pretty good bet. And there's more to that story. Brighton used Palace's nickname to inspire their own. Ooh, bird, they thought. Let's just pick a different one for us. And so, in a heated match between the two teams back in 1976, when Palace fans began chanting "Eagles, Eagles," Brighton fans had the perfect reply: "Seagulls, Seagulls." So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
The magic number. You listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings just gone at 5:30. We'll be until 7. A few moments ago, we brought you the second no Googling question of the afternoon. It was this: Nicholas Anelka and Raheem Sterling are the only players to have played for 4 of the Big 6 in the Premier League. And by the way, the Big 6 are as followed. Just to be, some people think Newcastle's the Big 6.
No, they don't.
There was a time.
Nobody outside of Broadmoor. Nobody thinks Newcastle.
There was a time when Newcastle were above Spurs in this Big 6 conversation. There was. There was 100%. Stop it.
And there was literally never.
When Faustino Asprilla and Shearer, they were. Anyway, so the Big 6 are Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Spurs, Arsenal. All right. So 5 other players have played for 3 of the Big 6. Doesn't include Danny Welbeck. Obviously, he hasn't made a Chelsea appearance. You've got 2 correct. You said Yossi Benayoun.
Boom, 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 boom. It's Yossi Benayoun.
Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. You said William Gallas. Yeah. You are correct. Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. Can you name the others?
No, you know I can't. They're the 2 that I got.
Kolo Touré. Kolo Touré.
Kolo Touré, in fairness, I would have never got.
This one I thought you would have got. Emmanuel Adebayor.
Adebayor, that's a tap-in.
But no, there's a worse tap-in.
Oh, no.
No, there's a worse one. You ready?
Hang on. Adebayor
tap in. Tap in.
Hang on, I'm trying to think now. Arsenal, Man City. Okay, Van Persie. Okay, tell me who.
Daniel Sturridge, City, Chelsea, Liverpool. What's wrong with you?
He played for City when they weren't.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He played for City.
You know what? That's actually a very good
He played for
shout.
City when they weren't.
That's a very good shout.
That's the problem. I'm thinking of City now.
Yeah. There you go. All right, still to come. We're going to have some fun with the best
How do I get Yossi Benayoun and not Daniel Sturridge or Adebayor?
Not Emmanuel Adebayor. Shocking it is. Really shocking. You wouldn't have got that then, would you? You wouldn't have got Nicholas Anelka and Raheem Sterling.
I would have got those
4.
three.
You know you would.
100%. Those two. Anelka, definitely. Anelka's
the big 4. You'd have got.
Anelka's
I think you would have forgot Anelka played for Liverpool.
No, of course not. Anelka's your go-to, but you definitely get the other 3 anyway.
Yeah, you would get the other 3. We spoke about this yesterday, didn't we? That the big news: Mauricio Pochettino, out of America anyway, has agreed to stay on as the USA manager until at least 2030. He's had the job since September 2024 and led the country to the last 16 of the World Cup, where they lost 4-1 to Belgium. He's been speaking after signing that deal and was asked what the next 4 years will look like.
I think we built an amazing relationship in between the people and of course in between us. But the thing is I cannot tell one. I think it's everything. It's everything. Is excited to be part of this new 4-year, project. That's again, thinking in the next World Cup. We know very well that we need to work a lot, and there are going to be up and downs during that process. But I think we are very confident that we can start from zero from today, creating new challenge, creating new approach in everything, not only on the pitch, if not off the field.
I thought he was quite spicy in the World Cup. Every time he went into a press conference, he kind of batted back the questions very well, I thought. I don't understand with him is, or even sort of USA football. What's the goal? What is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal, Thomas Tuchel, you've got to win the World Cup. The ultimate goal for Spain, France, like the amount of money that the US pump into their football, but we never realistically think they're going to win the World Cup, do we?
No,
no.
But
in my lifetime.
But for a side like the USA, I think they can succeed without succeeding in your terms. For example,
semi-finals.
I think Mauricio Pochettino basically did what he should have done at this World Cup.
Was that last 16?
Yeah, they got through the group, which was the first priority. Yeah. They also put in some very good performances in the group.
Yeah,
like they battered Paraguay. I remember when they played Australia. Mm-hmm. They were so dominant against Australia, like so dominant. Balogun, I think he forced an own goal after about 3 minutes. The game, as it was building up to that game, I remember watching it. It was meant to be a very stern test for the USA because there was no Pulisic, and they just wiped Australia aside, like absolutely battered them, men against boys. So I think that Mauricio Pochettino is doing quite well. There just needs to be more growth. It just needs to keep moving in the right direction.
Football, like Michael Owen, famously, in every interview he says now, he always speaks of football as just, it's now athletes.
Yeah.
He's always that's his thing, isn't it? There aren't that many countries that build better athletes than the US, is there? In terms of their school structure. Yeah. Like if they look at you and you're 6'2", this is what the sport you can. Do you almost feel like if they put all their efforts into football, in terms of from an athletic standpoint, to get the skill and all that, they could be a force.
Absolutely.
Just for numbers.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. No. The USA aren't ever in our lifetime. The USA will never win a World Cup. What I'm saying about Pochettino is they can evolve, they can contribute, they can produce players that are capable of playing in decent leagues. They can produce.
But he is a manager of. That's not what he's.
No, of course he is.
So what's success then? Next World Cup. What's success for Pochettino after signing his contract for the next World Cup?
If the USA get out of the last 16, even get to the last 16, I think that's a decent. Let's remember they are completely insignificant in a footballing context.
Their players aren't, Of course, when you go through their squad, no.
There's been a little bit of growth.
Yeah.
There's been a little bit of growth. Yeah. It's gone from Kobe Jones, who was a bit part player in that Coventry City team, to Alexi Lalas, who was fairly embarrassing in Italy. They've gone from that to now being like decent.
Yeah.
But when you speak to particularly Americans online when they talk about football, they are so far away from being like a footballing nation. They are so far away from being a successful footballing nation. They aren't capable. You're saying if they were to commit all their athletes. No, they don't have the technique. They don't have the history. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the power. They don't have so many things what it would take to win a World Cup, which is why success would be...
They have the investment.
Yeah, they've got a lot of money.
They've got the
so does Saudi Arabia. They're not going to win the World Cup.
But they've got they've got better players than that.
Yeah, they've got bigger players. They've got a bigger country. But ultimately, no, I don't think that we will ever. I don't think that we will ever see America as a true force in football.
Okay. On Mauricio Pochettino, obviously, look, he managed your club, Chelsea. He almost forgot that he did that, by the way. Do you think he's almost given up on club football, signing a deal to 2030? Do you think we could see him back in the Premier League sometime?
No, I think he'll be back in the Premier League. I think what he achieved in that Tottenham spell will go down as one of like he's now cemented as a decent manager. How decent is a conversation. How highly he should be rated is an interesting conversation. I don't rate him as highly as a lot of people. I didn't really want him at Chelsea. When he was linked with Manchester United, I said he was never that player, never good enough to manage a club the stature of Manchester United. But what he is a decent manager. So I imagine we'll see him back, but you can understand why he'd want to stay in the States as well. Great lifestyle.
Why would you not? Exactly. All right, let's quickly round up some of the latest transfer news from the Premier League at the moment. The big news is that McCallum Mudryk, by the way, is in the squad, having taken part in 2 training sessions since his return. He was cleared to play football last week, having previously served the doping ban since 2024. Xabi Alonso spoke about the winger last week and said he rates him highly.
I remember watching him in Shakhtar, the impact he had, how quick he is, had good in 1v1 situations, how he could create a lot of situations on his own, and it's a special player, but it will take time for sure.
Speaks quite highly of him. Obviously, there was this race, wasn't it, between Arsenal and Chelsea to get his signature. You got the signature, it fell apart. Do you still want him at the club?
No, I don't think I do. But it's very difficult, isn't it? Because there are some questions that I just don't know the answer to.
Such as?
So, for example, you give me your opinions on this. He hasn't been part of even a squad since 2024.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what does that mean? You know, for his mental
Surely he's
sharpness.
deteriorated.
Yeah, just for your mental sharpness.
Yeah.
I don't know what he'll be like as a player. I guess the best thing to do from a Chelsea perspective, bearing in mind, again, we're having to look at it through the lens of business, but we spent a lot of money on him. He's now available. I think we're surprised that he's now available. But I guess the strategy really that makes sense is to loan him out, give him the opportunity to rebuild his form, his fitness, demonstrate to us that he is a player that is capable of doing the business and doing it well in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's been linked with a loan move to Coventry, which is interesting. Obviously, the Frank Lampard Chelsea link.
Yeah, they would have worked. Well, hang on a minute.
Worked with him? No.
Yeah, Lampard came back. Lampard came back, didn't he? In that second spell, hang on a minute. In that second spell at Chelsea that went very badly for Lampard, almost none of it was his fault, but it went very badly for Chelsea. In that spell, Mikhailo Mudryk would have been there. Lampard and Mudryk would have worked together at Chelsea, yes.
Okay, so it kind of makes sense then for him to get some minutes under Frank, and then we'll see where he is. He must have still got 3 or 4 years left.
The problem
is an 8-year deal, didn't he?
Listen, yeah,
was it an 8-year deal?
No, he's definitely our player for the long haul if we want that. The problem with giving him the Coventry option, it could be a good thing for him. It could be a good thing for Lampard. But if you're playing for Coventry City in the Premier League, it's incredibly unforgiving. Right, so Mikhailo Mudryk is going to be thrown into the deep end.
We'll find out straight away, won't we? That's the thing. You'll find out how good he is or what's left straight away. I guess the good thing for Mikhailo Mudryk is that he's not like he's 32, is he? He's still quite young, still quite athletic. So I think it'll take a while for him to get his sharpness. But boy, can he play football, and he has got speed.
He's got speed. How much football he can play, I think, is up for debate. But he's definitely rapid.
All right, let's have a look at a few more of the games coming up over the next few days. Arsenal take on Real Betis in Dublin tomorrow. Then on Friday, Villa face Bayern Munich in Hong Kong. And on Friday as well, Fulham face Crystal Palace behind closed doors. Fulham versus Palace is interesting. 2 new managers at the helm. We spoke about Arbeloa and what he's done already in the transfer window, bringing in a couple of Real Madrid players. Palace will still be trying to get over the fact that Oliver Glasner has gone, and they'll be trying to shut their doors. They don't want anyone to take Mateta. They don't want anyone to take Wharton as well. Palace are going to be interesting, I think, this season, if they can still hang on to what they've got. If not, they're going to be in a relegation fight. I have no doubt about it.
Who, Palace?
Yeah. If Mateta goes and Wharton goes, along with the manager, and Lacroix's gone already, by the way, I think Palace could be in a bit of problem.
Yeah, and the fact that, I mean, we've got a situation, haven't we, where Mateta could easily reunite with his former manager. Like, Glasner is a massive fan of Mateta. Mateta obviously loved playing for Glasner. If Mateta were to reunite with Glasner, which would be a great signing for Forest, by the way, but if that were to happen, that could be very bad news.
Where did Palace finish last season? 14th?
Yeah.
Full
But
team.
remember, they had a
And-
great season.
Yeah, and they've got European football though.
Mm.
So you're right. They had a great season, won a European trophy, but that now means European football again with the manager that got you into Europe.
Yeah.
And won you that
But you also, it's one of those, isn't it? With what I never watch League 1, right? I watch French teams when they play English teams in Europe. But what I know about Sarge is that he's very highly rated, and he was the manager, and he was part of the reason that Lens won their first ever trophy.
Yeah.
So Lens won their first ever trophy in their history, in the way that Palace very recently won their first ever trophy in their history. Him going into Palace, it feels like it could be the right appointment. It could be the right kind of person to come in. But I do agree with you. Keeping hold of their players is essential.
Yeah, young manager, Sarge.
Young manager, yeah, young
38,
manager.
39.
But Palace are getting it right. Like, you've got to remember, Crystal Palace, this is the best decade that they've ever had in their lives. If you're a Crystal Palace fan living it now, I know they had moments when I was very young, like Wright and Bright up front and all that. Like they had their moments. Yeah, they had their moments. But for all of my life and all of their life, they've effectively been a team that could play in the Championship and could play in the Premier League and would ultimately be a yo-yo team. That's not who they are anymore. On top of that, they're winning silverware.
I think they could be very, very close to being that again.
Maybe, but they've had 10 years, 11 years now where they're not even close to it.
There'll be some Palace fans that will take that, by the way. There'll be some Palace fans that, okay, yes, yo-yo club, but we've actually accrued some silverware. 3 trophies if you count in the community.
Look, Sarge, I don't know much about him, and it does feel like a bit of a punt. But equally with Fulham, I think Arbeloa is a good appointment.
Could be a punt as well, taking over Marcus Silva and not having real big money to spend. All right, when we come back, it is the best of talkSPORT.
I speak to people here and there, good sources.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing I can say is that I know for a fact we're not going to rush. The window doesn't close until beginning of September, end of August, beginning of September. We've got a lot of time to make decisions. And on top of that, we're not like other teams who desperately have to strengthen and anyone's better than their current team. If somebody comes into our team, they have to be the right personnel, the right players on the pitch, and they have to fit the vision of Arsenal Football Club. We haven't spent 7-8 years building this squad for anyone to come in and for it to be some kind of joke. So the likes of Bruno, great attitude. He can play, Mikel likes him versatile. He can play as a 6, he can play as an 8. He can play as a 10 if you really want him to as well.
His creativity is very underrated, Joel.
Exactly. And we all know what it gets like. When you're Arsenal Football Club, you're in every single competition, guys. Just to remind everybody, we only, didn't play 2 games out of the possible. All of the games that you could have played last season, we only didn't play 2 games. What games were they? Do you know?
It would be the League Cup final. Oh no, you played that.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Don't worry, Ollie. I'll correct.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Semi-final of the FA Cup.
And
the final of the FA Cup.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So that means that even if you've got 2 10s, Eze and Odegaard and how great they are, sometimes you need more players.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Still to come, we're going to be picking our all-time Chelsea and Liverpool Premier League lineup. Very, very, very difficult to do. But now it's time for this. You ready, Jennings?
Oh, yes, I am so
Here
ready.
we go. This is the best of talkSPORT and Friends, where we run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across the talkSPORT network and our sister stations. All right, let's kick things off with last night's Sports Bar. Here's Majestic and Carlton Cole reading off a few of their listeners' nicknames.
I used to go to school with someone called Wayne Bruce. His nickname was Manbats. This is from Paul. He said Majestic, bloke at work's nickname is Sniper's Nightmare, on the account that he's having one leg shorter than the other. Oh, mate. Imagine it, he's just walking along. Sniper's Nightmare. That's me. One of the new lads at work has been named C-section because he's always avoiding labour. Oh, my gosh.
That is a good one.
That is so good.
That's actually a good one. When was the last time you did some manual labour? Actually, I know
Me?
the answer to this. Yeah.
I'm a pat rafter, mate. I don't stop.
You did your garden a couple weeks ago.
Mate, I water my own garden.
It's not really manual labour watering your garden. I'm talking put up a fence. You know, fix
Put
a
up
wash,
a fence. No,
fix a washing
no. I'll tell you what once.
Water
Do
the
you know what? I'll tell you what I did. I put a shelf up. This is relatively recently. I was like, I'm not getting this Task Rabbit involved. I'm going to do it myself.
I do that all the time.
Task Rabbit.
So bad.
Yeah,
so easy though.
So good.
50
But
quid, they come round,
so
done.
good. Right, but I decided I was going to put up this shelf. So I put it up, and it was fantastic. And I was looking in. I called everyone in. I was like, look at this. About 3 or 4 days later, my wife standing under it, goes bang on her head.
Did it really?
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Shouldn't laugh.
I'm
Shouldn't
never
laugh.
ever going to do this
Sorry,
again.
Vic, should laugh.
Yeah.
Any nicknames growing up?
No nicknames for me, mate. No nicknames at all. No.
No nicknames?
No. One person used to call me Jack Dawkins. Jack Dawkins was the actual name of the Artful Dodger. You know the Artful Dodger in Oliver Twist?
Yeah.
The Artful Dodger's actual name was Jack Dawkins, and my mate called me that. What about you?
No nicknames.
You're the housewife's favourite. That is your nickname. That is the housewife's
great
favourite.
nickname, that is, by the way. Make sure you get your calls in tonight when the Sports Bar returns at 10 p.m. tonight. Max LaBeouf Scott will be alongside Dean Saunders.
Now, moments ago, Andy Goldstein was thumped 9-4. I didn't write this. This has been written by somebody else. Andy Goldstein was thumped 9-4 in the pool by America's Michael Yednick. So to cheer him up, here's a few of his talkSPORT sporting highlights.
16 from 27, leads him with... He's done it! 11! Jermaine Pennant has made light of Goldstein, and I can tell you there's some people here in the Mortan Bell who are celebrating far more than they should at that victory. Is that more about Jermaine Pennant winning or Andy Goldstein losing as he refuses the handshake of the Saints? 2-2 again for Gabby Bonno. He's hit it! Goldstein is gone! The gale force has been blown out by the Gab father.
And I think it's fair to say, Andy, that all of that practice that Andy Goldstein has put in over the last year has really paid off.
Oh, really paid off. You know what the funny thing is about the darts one, yeah? Him and Benty...
They play all the time.
All the time.
Yeah,
I remember listening to that, and they both got knocked out. And they both started saying, who got knocked out the best?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you know, I was watching that there, I noticed Jermaine Pennant went for the handshake with Andy Goldstein and he refused it. Who's the biggest sore loser you know?
Probably me. I don't like losing.
No?
Yeah, I don't.
When's the last time you got hammered at something?
Last week, by you.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Do you reckon you'd play in the talkSPORT World Darts Championship,
I
mate?
can, because Pennant doesn't play darts. Gabby's rubbish. And they both knocked out Benty and Goldstein. Who, by the way?
Do you know what it is, though? It's the former pros, the former professional footballers.
They can't take it.
They're just good at sport.
Oh,
though.
you think that's what it is?
Yeah, they're just good.
Benty's
like
actually not good at darts.
Gabby Bonner, for example, he will just be better than you at darts. That's what happens.
No, he ain't.
Yeah, mate, I've played. Mate, I often beat you, and he's definitely better than me.
One second, tell the truth.
You beat me more. You beat me more.
Tell the truth. Do you often beat me
in
at
our
darts?
in our darts series? You beat me more than I beat you.
go.
But I still beat you. I shouldn't ever get. I shouldn't lay a glove on you, but I do.
Right.
And for more darting content, make sure that you're subscribed to the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel.
All right, let's finish with a bit of talkSPORT Gold. Last week, Rory and I made a few jokes. Oh, no.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Where is this going?
Made a few jokes at Jermaine Pennant's expense. So here he is showing off his immense general knowledge skills on the breakfast show.
Oh, no!
Abby, you're given the first letter of this word, so that you must get this right. And that word is bolognese.
B.
Jermaine.
E.
What?
E.
No, 1-0 to Gabby. Bolognese. Spaghetti bolo. Bolognese. Oh, it's yeah.
There's no E.
Come on, you're making a word there. Bolo.
Bolognese.
There's no E in bolognese.
I don't want any part of this.
One second. Was that Gabby and Jermaine together?
I don't want any part of this. I recognise Jermaine Pennant as a highly engaged, intelligent gentleman.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not part of this.
Yeah.
This was your doing, you know.
No, it wasn't.
It was actually our producer, wasn't it? I blame Joe.
It wasn't Joe either.
Who was it?
I'm not going to mention names.
This is Craig David.
I am not part of it. Put it that way.
What's the top 3 countries in the world for food?
For food, France.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think England gets a really bad rap here.
Yeah, because this shouldn't be in the top 3.
Mate, there's more Michelin stars in London and Paris. Put that in your pipe.
There isn't. That's not true.
100%.
That is not true.
100%. More Michelin stars.
Obviously not true.
More Michelin stars in London than Paris.
Yeah, but the chefs are definitely not English.
What, like Gordon Ramsay?
Doesn't even live here.
What's that got to do with anything?
So he's obviously not one of the chefs in the
Also, I think he's Scottish, isn't he?
A reminder, Alan Brazil returns to talkSPORT Breakfast 6 a.m. tomorrow. He's going to have Gabby Agbonlahor alongside him. Of course, you can find all our shows on talkSPORT app where you can swipe between talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2 and all of our sister stations so you never miss a moment.
It's interesting, this situation with Vinicius Junior, because there were some reports of the weekend that he'd agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Rock Nation, who represent the Real Madrid star, have released a statement hitting out fake news. They said Rock Nation Sports International and our entire team cannot stand idle when unprofessional and uninformed media publish fake and damaging information for attention-seeking purposes. This is especially unacceptable when it personally targets our clients without any foundation. It's disruptive, harmful and libelous, they say. Media outlets and journalists need to hold themselves more accountable. Now, if Vinicius Junior was that keen on a move to Arsenal, would his agency really have gone so strong in the statement?
No, I think. Look, they've been playing the game, haven't they? Let's be honest. I think Vinicius Junior wants to stay in Real Madrid. I think that's where he sees himself. He's probably using Arsenal to some extent to try and, get probably another 100 grand more on his already probably £1 million a week contract. So for me, Crookie, I think I'm expected that he's going to be staying at Real Madrid. I'll be very surprised if we see him in the Premier League and playing for Arsenal next year.
It's a real tall order, isn't it, for any club in the Premier League to tempt a player from Real Madrid. I was speaking over the weekend. I think it was Darren Goff maybe who made the point, or maybe Tony Cascarino. Dennis Bergkamp in the mid-90s when he left Inter Milan, Serie A was the powerhouse then of European football, to join Arsenal was a real surprise. Would this be comparable?
I think it would be. Yeah, I think it's probably bigger.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by three men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match: opening bowler Alfred Shaw, opening batsman Arthur Shrewsbury and captain James Lillywhite. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The Lions weren't alone on the boat. Also on board were 300 stoats and weasels, who were brought over to eliminate New Zealand's rabbit problem. The first ever Lions captain, Robert Seddon, died of drowning midway through the tour while sculling on a river. Andrew Stoddart, who was another of the cricketers there, took over and was the star of the tour. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. Before World War II, the Lions had a dark blue strip, which on the 1930 tour forced the All Blacks to play in all white. So in 1950, the iconic red shirts, white shorts and blue and green socks combination was born. It remains the symbol of the greatest alliance of adversaries in all of sport. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions.
Good evening, you're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings still to come. We're going to be rounding up some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds. But now, football is back this weekend and the talkSPORT network has you covered.
Just got to love the Carabao Cup. Early rounds, you are guaranteed drama.
Ball in right-footed efforts in. It's Middlesbrough that take the lead. Smith has scored! Welcome to Wrexham! It's one of the classic Carabao Cup ties. It's down by Socek, poked in by Bowen. It's 1-0 West Ham United. What's in by Bishop? It's 2-0 to Pompey.
The Carabao Cup delivering yet again on talkSPORT.
Colchester won and he's lashed it into the back of the...
Is Azaz! Oh! Finn Azaz! For Southampton! What a breathless, fantastic advert for Carabao Cup football. Mansfield Town back on level terms. Bamford again. Second goal for Patrick Bamford. Second goal for Sheffield United. All the drama of the Carabao Cup live on talkSPORT.
Yep, we've missed it. It is back. The wait is nearly over. Live football is back on talkSPORT from Friday. We're going to bring you the first domestic cup commentary of the season, Middlesbrough versus Wrexham in the Carabao Cup, and then 7 live EFL Championship matches across the opening weekend, including Burnley versus West Ham. Premier League match last season, that.
I know.
Burnley versus West Ham in the Championship. We'll also take you to Cardiff for Arsenal versus Man City in the Community Shield. Then it's the return of the Premier League with exclusive national radio coverage of the first 2 games of the new season. All starts. Arsenal take on Coventry, Hull host Manchester United. But now, it's me and Rory in the studio together, so it's only right that we focus on our 2 teams as well. We are talking, obviously, Chelsea and Liverpool. We heard from Chelsea while Xabi Alonso earlier speaking whilst on pre-season tour. So let's hear from the new Liverpool camp. Defender Milos Kerkez has been speaking to the This Is Anfield YouTube channel, and he said he's delighted to be working with Andoni Iraola again, having played under him at Bournemouth.
Playing much different, I think that's visible, obviously, and yeah, he's using me how I prefer to play more, I would say. So yeah, just continue to improve, get the condition, get legs going, and hopefully it will be good for me, especially for the whole team. We need everyone to be on point.
No excuses for Kerkez this season. I thought it was okay last season, but he's got to be better. And the manager that made you arguably the best, I don't know, left back in the league, potentially a couple of seasons ago, is now there. So it's not, this is it for him, isn't it?
Yeah,
show what you can do.
Look, he's a very good player, Kirkes, and I don't think he had a particularly bad time of it. He was just a symptom of a team that had a terrible time of it. He can't really be held responsible. You know, when you think about how badly it went for Liverpool, Arne Slot you have to talk about. Mohamed Salah perhaps deserves some of the blame. You could talk about there's more senior players in the squad. You could think about the running of the club, the transfer strategy. There's lots of reasons. I think it'd be very, very unjust to pin much of the blame on Kirkes.
No.
This season, though, I do agree with you.
Yeah.
You've had a season to bed in. You came in with a big reputation. Now it's time to demonstrate the form that you demonstrated when you were playing for Bournemouth at Anfield.
Certainly, I agree. Florian Wirtz, same. Alexander Isak, the same. There's a few that had last season to kind of had a look at. Now it's time to go. You know, when we look at sort of what you are going to do under Xabi Alonso, I think there'll still be a few more incomings. I expect Andoni Iraola to spend a bit more money as well. How far away do you think Liverpool and Chelsea are from going for it?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's a fascinating Premier League. I think it's a fascinating Premier League title race almost, because Arsenal are so clearly the front runners. Arsenal are the reigning champions. They're the best team in the country already. There isn't really an obvious person to challenge them. I think that there's jeopardy around every single team. And if Arsenal don't retain it, bearing in mind it would be Arsenal retaining a league for the first time in their history. They've never retained a Premier League title. Despite some of those glorious teams under Arsene Wenger, they've never retained it. And I think that's historic, right? They have the opportunity. They've never had a better opportunity. But if you play a game and say, for some reason, Arsenal don't do it, annoyingly, I think they will. But if you pretend that they won't, Arsenal don't win the league, you then have to explore, okay, who will? I think that there's probably 4 or 5 sets of fans that are all legitimately allowed to say, we could win the Premier League title, if Arsenal don't.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Pardon?
That many?
Yeah, I'd say
Chelsea in that.
What I would say Manchester City, they are obviously allowed to think that they can win the Premier League title because of the squad that they have. I would say that there's some jeopardy around it. Following on from Pep Guardiola's never easy. Is Enzo Maresca going to be a David Moyes? Who knows? I don't rate Enzo Maresca that highly. I think he's decent, but I don't rate him that highly.
Yeah.
I certainly don't think he's capable of following on from arguably the greatest managers to have ever done it. And I think that it could go wrong for City.
A lot hinges on Rodri, I think.
But look, their team. Look, Erling Haaland almost means on his own that you're in a title race. It means that you're capable. That spine, Haaland, Rodri, Guehi should be enough to mean that they're capable.
Yeah, there's enough there.
And the history.
And they're
a winning institution.
Titles.
Yeah, they're a winning institution. Yeah. Even when it went wrong for them last year, they still won both domestic trophies. That's amazing.
Crazy, isn't it?
So City obviously can dream. I think that you would extend that same courtesy to Manchester United. I know Manchester United fans don't really agree with me here, but I just think that since Michael Carrick got the job, it's been unbelievably good.
It's been unbelievably easy.
For him. Yeah. I think he's made it look unbelievably easy. Like his job when he took over from Ruben Amorim, bearing in mind, you have to give so much credit to Michael Carrick for this. He followed on from possibly the worst manager that Manchester United have ever had. There is no doubt about it that Ruben Amorim is a complete fraud. A complete and utter charlatan, one of the worst managers in the Premier League, and a stain, a blight on the office of Manchester United manager. That's what Ruben Amorim is, an absolute charlatan and a fraud. Michael Carrick then comes in and has to take over from him. When you're going into a club off the back of someone as abject as Amorim, it's not an easy job. You have to go in, steady the ship, make sure that everybody's all right, make sure that the ridiculous training, the ridiculous tactics haven't infiltrated the psyche of that squad. He goes in and he was given a remit that most people thought he couldn't do. Try and qualify for the Champions League. He does it with games to spare, light work. So of course I think Manchester United are capable.
Okay, and then very quickly, our two sides.
Look, I think Chelsea and Liverpool are both capable of launching a serious and sustained bid to win the Premier League title. It's unlikely, and it's obviously relying on Arsenal not winning it. But Andoni Iraola is the governor. He's such a good manager.
He's such a good manager.
Like what he did, getting Bournemouth to 6 is nonsense. It's like ridiculous. Like, how have you done that?
Yeah.
Took Bournemouth to 6. They lose Semenyo. They don't lose a game. They lose all their back line the previous year. Yeah. All to Champions League clubs, by the way. Howson goes to Real Madrid. Arrizabalaga goes to Arsenal. Kirkes goes to Liverpool, and they get better. Of course, Iraola, if he gets it working at Liverpool are an institution capable of winning titles. And then again, I'd extend the same courtesy to Xabi Alonso at Chelsea. Xabi Alonso, what he did with Leverkusen is breathtakingly good. They won the league unbeaten.
Problem with Chelsea, it's a madhouse, isn't it? It's a madhouse.
It feels a little bit less of a madhouse at the moment.
You've got an owner that
No, but it feels a little bit less. It feels like the owners, even this transfer strategy, it feels like the owners
step back and
I think they must have acknowledged that they made a pig's ear of the entire thing since they came in. If you look at what they've done since they came in at Chelsea, they've eroded everything good about the club and instilled a culture of losing. And that's all on their watch. They took over a club that were champions of Europe. Since then, it has just been like, 10th place finish? Twice?
Yeah, that's why I find it laughable. You somehow think, I know you're going to say no European football, that they can go from 10th to somehow competing for the title. It can happen. It has happened with Chelsea before. Let's not forget that. So it can happen. All right, let's have a bit of fun. Our producer, Joe, said, can you both pick your Premier League all-time 11s?
Yeah, smash
so a Liverpool one and a Chelsea one. Of course you did, because that's just you, isn't it? All right, do you want to tell me? We don't know each other's 11s, by the way. Kind of feel like I know which one you're going to be, but we'll see. What's your 11? Go on, give me your Chelsea.
My Chelsea 11.
Your Chelsea all-time. I can't wait.
This is all-time Premier League.
All-time Premier League 11. Yeah. Give me your Chelsea 11.
Right, I've got 11, but I've also got 4 players I have to give an honourable mention to. I'm giving them.
No.
You can't stop me. I'm my own man.
No, I can.
I play by my own rules.
No, you can't do that.
I'll do it first. Dennis Wise.
No.
Dennis Wise, Arjen Robben.
Mike's turned off. Your mic's turned off. Your mic's turned off.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Wait, are these the honourable mentions?
Honourable mentions.
Okay, go on. Go.
Dennis Wise, Arjen Robben, Dan Petrescu, Michael Essien. They're getting them. They're getting those mentions. So they're not in my team, but Dennis Wise needs a mention.
Dennis Wise would have been in your
Dan Petrescu needs a mention. Yeah, Dennis Wise is my hero.
No,
Dennis Wise is my hero, but I'm trying to pick...
Clearly not.
Dennis Wise.
No, don't backtrack.
Dennis Wise could easily have a statue at Stamford Bridge, as could Roberto Di Matteo.
But he doesn't.
But they didn't make this.
Okay,
Dan Petrescu.
go on. Let me hit this 11 quickly.
Petr Cech.
Yeah.
Ivanovic at right back.
Ooh.
John Terry, Thiago Silva, Ashley Cole.
Aspilicueta.
Nah, Ivanovic was better than him. I truly believe Ivanovic was better.
Go on.
So Ivanovic, John Terry, Thiago Silva, Ashley Cole.
So good.
3 midfielders.
Yes,
midfielders.
1 second, let me breathe and take that in. That is such a good backfire.
Yeah. Yeah. Cech, Ivanovic, Terry, Silva, Cole. Yeah, you're not scoring.
Nothing you're doing. Nothing.
In front of them, you've got N'Golo Kante.
Oh my God!
You've got N'Golo Kante protecting.
Yeah.
You've then got Frank Lampard and Cesc Fabregas.
Oh, you've gone Cesc.
You've gone Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas is unlike anything I've ever seen before. But there were loads. Like I've had to leave Claude Makelele out. I've had to leave Dennis Wise out. I've had to leave loads of players that I love out.
Yeah.
But Fabregas, Lampard, Kante as a midfield.
Okay.
I've then got 2 behind the front man.
So you've gone Hazard, obviously, is 1.
So I've got Zola and Hazard as a 2, with Drogba up front.
Oh, that's a frightening team.
It's about as good as it can be.
No, it's unbeatable. It's unbeatable.
I think that team is capable. You know, if Manchester United fans did this and they put their best, or Liverpool, well, we'll hear yours in a minute, but Manchester United fans, Arsenal fans, I think the team that I've just said there is capable of anything.
You almost won just on your back 5. Your back 5, I just can't see conceding.
What club do you think would have the best one of these? If you did Premier League era, what club has the best? Is it Manchester United? They certainly have the most titles. Is it them?
Can I tell you what club comes
City.
very close now? People won't,
City.
People won't like to hear it, but City is frightening.
Yeah.
And let me do mine very quick.
Okay, let's hear the Liverpool.
So we've got Alisson in goal, clearly the best goalkeeper in Premier League history. Phenomenal goalkeeper. Back 4, we've got Trent right back. We've got Virgil van Dijk, Carragher. We've got Robbo. Midfield was a headache for me. I've got Carragher and Henderson sitting. I've got Coutinho in the 10. I've got Salah off the right.
Sorry, what's your midfield again?
Midfield is Henderson and Gerrard and Coutinho in front of them. Yeah. Philip Coutinho's got to be in it. He has to be in it. I was struggling with Xabi Alonso. I was even
your team's
Fabinho.
Rubbish.
Okay, thank you very much. We've got Suarez through the middle, which is clearly better than Drogba. We've got Salah off the right. We've got Mane off the left.
Mate, I've made a better Liverpool team than you.
How have you done that? What are you talking about?
Mate, you've got Jordan Henderson in an all-time Premier League Liverpool.
Who have you got in the midfield? Mate, he's the best Premier League captain.
Mate, the midfield that
One second. How dare you disrespect Jordan Henderson? Best Premier League captain we've had.
He's the best Premier League captain you've had.
Yeah, we've had. Yeah, he has to be in. He has to be in. Has to be.
I think if Jordan Henderson is in this team,
go on.
You don't get the ball off.
Mate, you
got Jordan Henderson against Kante, Lampard, and Fabregas.
1 second. You gave an honourable mention to Dennis Wise.
Yeah, it's an honourable mention.
Liverpool team.
Mate, Dennis Wise is a much better player than Jordan Henderson.
Behave right now.
That's 100% true. It's 100% true.
Behave right now.
Your midfield is mad. I've created.
Go on.
Okay, it should be Mohamed Salah on the left wing. Steve McManaman.
Mohamed Salah on the left wing.
Mohamed Salah on the right wing. Steve McManaman on the left wing with Gerrard and Alonso in the midfield.
No, he can't be over Mane. McManaman, he can't.
Okay, put Mane. No, but Mane.
Gerrard and Alonso in the midfield.
And then I've got Suarez and Torres up front. I've gone 4-4-2.
So you've gone for a team. You got 4-2-4.
No, 4-4.
4-2-4.
4-2-4. Mate, we're fluid in possession and out of possession. We're different, mate. This is the thing with you. You don't see football like me. I see it in a fluid way.
Very quickly before we go to the break. From our 11s, I'll let you answer because you're obviously going to be so Chelsea biased here. But it's so
Your
fine.
back line
How
is
many?
all
How
over
many get in? How many Liverpool of that 11 get in your Chelsea 11?
None. I'm looking at it now. Literally
So
not.
obviously Gerrard doesn't get in then.
Is Gerrard okay?
Gerrard does not get in.
Okay, you might.
Gerard's better than all your midfielders.
You might be able to put
Gerard's
Gerrard.
better than all your midfielders.
He's not. He's definitely not better than Lampard.
Salah doesn't get in.
Salah doesn't get in. Over who? You think Salah's better than Hazard?
Whoever.
You think Salah's better than Hazard?
Of course I do.
You don't.
Absolutely, of course I do.
You don't. He's a better goal scorer. Not better footballer.
That's what he's there for us. He's
No,
there to score goals.
no. I've got Didier Drogba for Gianfranco Zola.
They're clearly there to score.
There's
goals.
no room. You might be
They're
able
to
to
score
force
goals.
Steven Gerrard. Okay, even if I fall on my sword,
Behave.
Steven Gerrard in, maybe Kante or Fabregas fall on
You
their
can
sword.
take out any of your midfielders. But we're going to take calls on this.
You're crazy.
And we're going to discuss
One Liverpool
the all-time 11 as well.
One.
03717 2233.
I'll give you one. That's it.
I mean, having won the league last season, I mean, you mentioned this to me in the break. Do you think it's more emphasis on the Champions League this time?
Possibly, without wanting to obviously downplay anything else around it. Possibly there will within the camp that little bit of extra determination to try and get over the line in the Champions League. They'll be right in there again. Champions League is such fine margins. Those matches when you get to the quarters and the semis of those games, you can be in pole position with 10 minutes to go and go out. It's very, very difficult to absolutely guarantee anything at that level and that stage of that competition. They're the team to beat in the Premier League. I think the squad, I just looked at the squad again, Jeff. They've got so many good players. I mentioned to you about William Saliba obviously being out for a bit, not sure of back injury, and backs can be a bit weird. You can feel like it's all clearing up, then all of a sudden something doesn't feel right again. They can frustrate you. But they've got Nketiah, they've got Calafiori, they've got others that can all play alongside Gabriel and cope admirably in that position. Still got, as far as unless I've missed something, but they've still got players to cover pretty much every position, every eventuality. So they're in great shape, great health. And if they get another big one through the door, another real top draw player, and I'm not sure who that is and in what position that would necessarily be, but I think if they sent a message in that respect, oh wow, they're going to take some stopping.
Well, obviously it looks like Bruno Guimaraes is going to be through the door.
He's the one. Do you like him?
No, I love him.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo Style and Brands for every single man. Still to come, we're going to be rounding up some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds. But just quickly, Fulham fans should be excited about this. Fulham have signed Gonzalo Garcia and Cesar Palacios from Real Madrid on 5-year deals. Remember, new manager Alvaro Obeloa in charge there. Coventry have signed goalkeeper Carl Rushworth from Brighton for around £22 million following a successful loan spell at the club. All right, we are taking your calls. This got heated, didn't it, a few minutes ago between me and Rory? Who makes combined all-time Chelsea and Premier League 11? 03717 223344. Let's go to the phone line straight away. Let's go to Collar, Liverpool fan, I believe. Collar, what do you make of it? How many of these Liverpool players get into a Chelsea all-time 11?
You know what? I'm going to skip all of them, right? I can start counting one by one. How you guys doing, by the way?
Not bad.
It got me worked up a bit. Rory, how could you say Gerrard won't get into that team? I'm going to call. Let's call it a spade. Why did Mourinho try and sign him? Not once, not twice. Why did JT even go speak with him? Literally. You know, the funny thing is you can't...
Because Gerrard, you can make a point, but the reason why Mourinho wanted to sign him, and this is what's such a travesty about the situation with England in say 2008 when Steve McLaren was letting his country down, the reason why Mourinho wanted to sign him was to partner him with Lampard, not to play instead of Lampard.
Do you know what? He plays instead of Lampard every day, twice on Sunday. And every person, all the goats, the Dans and the rest, you put Gerrard on his pedestal, then you talk about Scholes and Lampard separately. Come on, please. Okay, that's fair. But I like your 4-4-2 you picked. Mane probably instead of McManaman. I love Steve McManaman. That's why I love football from the first place. But what's it called? But I think Mane just ahead of him. But Gerrard, come on, man, please.
No. Do you know what? By the end of that conversation, I think you did get worked up.
I think he did say Gerrard by the end of the conversation.
By the end of the conversation.
Yeah, but he was trying to shoehorn him. You can't shoehorn Gerrard. Come on, please.
No, Steven Gerrard can make it in, but that's one. And do you concede that that's the only one?
No, I don't consider that the only one. So you talk about Van Dijk. Yes, JT is awesome, but maybe JT and Van Dijk, right? Didier Drogba, give him his flowers any day, anytime. But Van Dijk and Gerrard, but Gerrard 200%, literally.
I think Gerrard, I would concede.
And by the way, let's be very frank about it as well. I am the biggest Didier Drogba fan. He's incredible. Suarez, it's just a different type of number 9. He's just he's a you know this as well.
No, look, Suarez, unbelievable.
Suarez.
Also, the
great call, Collar. Great call,
Collar. Thank you. The Fernando Torres at Liverpool. Obviously, it went wrong when he signed for us.
I nearly cried when he left.
But yeah, of course, because I know he's so loved. I've been to Anfield many times where that entire cop, in fact, the whole stadium, when they're rocking to that Liverpool song, you know, the Torres song, his armband proved, and the whole thing's going. Torres. Right, that was an unbelievable time. But I think Fernando Torres, in terms of what he did in the Premier League, it's kind of forgotten quite how good he was. He was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. I'd never ever look. Haaland,
the size of him as well. I think people look at him now. He's obviously a bodyboard. You see the size of him now, by the way.
Haaland sort of blew it out the water, and maybe even Suarez. But you know, there was a period where I just thought that if you're judging a player on the best season that they've ever had, just the best single season, regardless of team achievements or whatever else, that Fernando Torres season, when he just arrived and announced himself, scored that goal against Blackburn Rovers where he took it on his chest and volleyed it over the top.
Incredible.
It was just
all from Carragher.
And the amount of goals that were scored between Torres to Gerrard or Gerrard to Torres, they had this telepathic understanding, and it was a joy to behold.
Funny though, when you ask Gerrard and Carragher about that, because they've always asked about who's the best player you ever played with, they always say Suarez.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, they also Carragher speaks quite candidly, doesn't he, about when Chelsea went in for Torres, and he couldn't believe it. They knew
he was in.
They knew, yeah. He spoke about, because obviously I was actually at Anfield. He scored a couple of goals against us. Liverpool beat us 2-0. It was in December, I think. It's freezing. That was the only performance that he had that season, really, for Liverpool.
Yeah, but he was fantastic.
Yeah, you might be able to argue Suarez.
But by the way, there'll be some older Liverpool fans that will say, one second, how are you not talking about Fowler and Owen to an extent? But I think Suarez will be in that squad. Let's go to another Liverpool fan, Nitin. Nitin, come on. I mean, I've got Salah in, I've got Van Dijk in, I've got Suarez in, I've got Gerrard in.
I totally agree with all those players that you put in. Sorry, hi guys, how you doing, by the way?
Good. Nice to talk to you.
all good. Yeah, with Henderson, great player, won the league, won the Champions League, but
won the FA Cup, won the League Cup.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, great player. You can't really compare him to Gerrard.
No.
But he was served round like great players at that time. So I'm not going to take nothing back from Henderson because I do like him, but you can't put him in that bracket, you know that.
And that's a Liverpool fan telling you, Ade. He's a very good system footballer.
So
Klopp made a system.
What bracket are we? I'm not saying he's a world-class player. I'm just saying in terms of what he did for Liverpool, it's very difficult to leave him out of a Premier League Liverpool all-time 11.
He just signed for Chelsea, so that shows something at his age.
Can I ask one? Can I ask very one? This might be controversial. Rory will jump down my throat very quickly. Is there any question about Trent versus Ivanovic? In terms of what
there
want,
is.
No. In terms of what you want, like in terms of Trent being the world-class right back, is there any argument at all? Is there any debate at all about Trent getting in over Ivanovic?
Trent was oh my God, he was the right back at the time, you know. But his head turned, and he learned Spanish, and you know what I mean. He already knew he was going, you know what I mean. And I think he just sort of like his form sort of like piped down a little bit that season before he left, because his head just turned. But like in his prime, I think he was better than Ivanovic.
Yeah, of course he was. Absolutely, of course he was. Great call, Nathan. Thank you very much. Of course he was. Perfect way to end the call. Absolutely. All right, still to come. We're going to be rounding out some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds, but it's time for no Googling.
Okay, come on,
please. It's the last one of the show as well. God. All right. I'm upset for you. Mikel Arteta is currently the longest serving manager in the Premier League, with Unai Emery second. Simple question. Who is next? Answer when we come back.
Let's talk about Jack Grealish. Obviously, you bumped into him on holiday. Everton opted against the 50 million buyout option, but I saw in the Liverpool Echo, 83% of Everton fans want the club to sign Jack Grealish. Do you think he'll end up there?
I think there's a good chance he will, but I didn't understand the £50 million that Man City thought they were going to get. A year left on his contract. Like, you're never going to get that sort of money for Manchester City if they can get a fee at all. Because it's a club like Everton or wherever Jack signs for might be like the wages. Maybe we'll cover the wages for a year and then that's it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But seeing him over in Mallorca, he was fit. He was training at Real Mallorca's training ground because they were away in Marbella pre-season. He's hungry. He's looking after himself. He's doing all the right things. And, you know, some players at 30, Jeff, he's won it all.
Yeah.
Doesn't need any more money. But he wants to play. He's addicted to football. He loves football. He would have been so jealous watching the players at the World Cup. He still wants to play at the highest level. And he showed that by the pre-season that he's had. So any reports as well that were fake reports you were hearing about being left out of Manchester City squad, no, I don't think he's clear to train for another 10 days.
fancied having a beer in the stands while watching your team at the Emirates, or at Anfield, or at Stamford Bridge? Well, this season you actually can. Drinking alcohol in the stands at Premier League games may still be illegal, but the Women's Super League is doing something different. And here's how we got there. Back in the 1980s, football had a serious image problem. The sport was plagued by violence, pitch invasions and beer-fuelled chaos. Then, in 1985, Margaret Thatcher's government stepped in. They introduced the Sporting Events Control of Alcohol Act, banning alcohol in view of the pitch across England and Wales. Since then, many fans and clubs have called for the law to be relaxed. But despite attempts to change things over the years, authorities just haven't been convinced fans can be trusted. But in January 2025, something did change. The Women's Championship, now called the WSL2, launched a trial allowing fans to drink in the stands. The reasoning? Well, fans at women's matches tend to behave differently. Less aggression, more family-friendly vibes. As a result, select WSL and WSL2 stadiums are now allowing fans to drink alcohol in view of the pitch. It's been a landmark move showing growing trust in fans and recognising that women's football is building its own culture. So could the men's game be the next to leave the 1980s behind? Well, maybe, if fans can prove they can handle a pint without pitching it at someone. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Until then, it's Bovril all around. Cheers to that.
Good evening, you listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings. A few moments ago, we brought you the final no Googling question of the evening. It was a very simple one. Mikel Arteta is currently the longest serving manager in the Premier League with Unai Emery second. Who is next on the list? The answer is...
I don't know. It's a stupid question.
That's not a name.
It's a stupid question. I don't recognise the legitimacy
3
of this
years,
quiz
31
anymore.
days at Leeds.
I've had enough of no Googling.
Michael Carrick, the 10th longest serving manager, took over in
Carrick.
the merry-go-round of managers in the Premier League is horrendous.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's horrendous. Following us from 7 o'clock, as I said, Flex hosts the Transfer Insiders. This evening, he has broadcaster and Villa fan Dan Bardell. And then from 6 a.m. tomorrow, a TalkSPORT legend returns.
Okay, DJ.
I feel good. Rewind. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Alan Brazil. It's 2050 and I'm 90-year-old, yes, and I still haven't been sacked. I am not a script reader. I ad-lib, right?
Hold on, recording, silencio, s'il vous plaît. Go! Always believe in your soul. You understand, David? You have washed in France, no?
Radio's repetitive because there's people coming in and coming out, coming in and out all the time. That's why you repeat yourself, okay?
What did you say radio was you?
Repetitive.
The world has gone mad, I'm telling you. Excuse me, blooming hell.
I'm not a hero, don't worry about that.
Always believing.
A roar. Gus Poyet, who's down at Shanghai Shenhua,
Archewua. Don't sound surprised, you Tube. You don't like it? Radio 4, Tube. Roar.
Yeah, the legend is back from 6 a.m. tomorrow. Alan Brazil returns to the airways for the first time since April. He's going to be alongside Gabby Bonhall. They're going to be joined by, this is an incredible lineup, by the way, and not including Gabby, but Ali McCoy, Neil Warnock, Glenn Hoddle, and actor Ray Winston, just to name a few. There's going to be others popping by and saying hello as well. That's TalkSPORT Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. with the legend Alan Brazil. Very quickly, obviously, look, he was very poorly. We know that. It's just good to see him back healthy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because he is the legend.
He's an icon.
You grew up listening to him.
Yeah, titan of British radio. No, it's wonderful.
And he's the most unfiltered man ever.
Yeah, no, he's a breath of fresh air a lot of the time. No, it's great. It's great to have him back and great to see him looking well.
It certainly is. All right, let's have a look at some of the latest transfer rumours doing the rounds today. We can start with Real Madrid because they're in active talks with RB Leipzig today to try and close the deal for Yan Diamonde. Madrid are keen to have the 19-year-old winger take a medical as soon as possible and to avoid him travelling to Leipzig's pre-season camp in Austria. Leipzig have been holding out for more than £100 million for him. 100 million for Diamonde. I mean...
The problem is, Ade, as soon as you try and rationalise anything here, football, finances, effectively what you're paying for isn't the player. You're paying for the potential, aren't you? You're playing... Nothing he's done so far justifies 100 million. Of course it doesn't.
No.
What you are paying for is what he may become, which is a potential Ballon d'Or winner. In which case, 100 million quid suddenly looks like a bargain.
How are you paying that sum of money for potential? Like, that sum of money seemed, for me, there was once in a lifetime ago, it feels like that anyway, where that sum of money was proven. Like when Real Madrid bought Ronaldo from United, it was proven. He just won a Ballon d'Or at United.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are you paying 100 million for potential? Is that just the market?
I do agree with you. I just think that as soon as you and I start trying to have a conversation where we explore the rights and wrongs and merits of this, there is no answer. Football finances have gone wrong. The reason that they earn so much money is because they generate so much money. The reason that they cost so much money is because the amount of eyeballs from around the world, we saw it in the World Cup, the advertising spend.
Yeah.
But no, of course it's ridiculous, and of course Diamonde shouldn't cost anything like this.
You know what's interesting about Diamonde is that obviously Florentino Perez is back again at the helm, and his thing was Galacticos, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to spend money, his thing was always we're going to buy Kaká, we're going to buy Benzema, we're going to buy Ronaldo, we're going to buy the best. Before that, Zidane. You know, it was always that. Diamonde's not a Galactico.
No, not yet.
He's not a shirt seller.
No, not yet. But I also think with Perez, there's such a political story, isn't there, to Real Madrid? The player that they need, the player that they should sign, the player that I think they ultimately will sign is Rodri.
Well, I thought you were going to say Michael Elise.
Rodri. Elise, everyone needs Elise, but I feel like Rodri is the tap-in for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And Perez, it's very difficult for him because the other guy, I forget his name, who Perez beat to the presidency, he ran on a campaign of, I'm going to sign Rodri.
Yeah.
So for Perez, it would be very difficult to go and sign him now. I think it will happen, and I think it should happen. But yeah, I agree with you. Diamande's wild signing for this kind of money.
Wild. Let's continue with the wild theme. Let's talk about Jadon Sancho. He's been training at 10th tier non-league side Flixton FC to maintain his fitness this summer, and reportedly has a number of offers on the table across Europe, Saudi Arabia, and the Middle East. This is a lesson how bad it can go.
It's over.
Well, not really. When he's got offers on the table from Saudi, Middle East, and Europe, he will be okay. He will land on his feet. All he needs is one good season of scoring and assisting, and he'll be back again.
No, Jadon Sancho's story is going to be one of missed opportunity. His entire story is going to be one of regret. We will talk about Jadon Sancho in a decade's time, and he will be a punchline. His name will be comical. And it's just quite a sad story. I don't particularly feel any sympathy for him because I think he's an architect of his own downfall. I don't particularly wish him well. I think that he is just a fool who has made an absolute pig's ear of his career. He has got talent.
You don't believe in people getting second and third and fourth?
I think he's had it. He had a second chance at Chelsea, a third one at Villa. I think he's had it. He had the opportunity at Manchester United to really commit. You look at the way that he spoke about Ten Hag. You look at the conduct, regardless of what you think about Ten Hag. Didn't he post something to his Instagram account, Twitter account, pin it to the top of the profile? Like, whatever you think of Ten Hag, it's Manchester United. It's one of the most glorious footballing institutions in the world. The office of Manchester United manager needs to be respected, and Jadon Sancho made an absolute pig's ear of that. He then got a reprieve. He came to Chelsea, and somehow he won. He was part of a team that won European silverware. He scored a goal in the European final for Chelsea. Not the most glorious of finals, but he still scored a goal in a European final. Very good goal as well against Pellegrini's team. You know, it wasn't totally insignificant. Chelsea wanted to sign him. Chelsea offered to sign him. The only stipulation was that he takes a hit on his wages. So you become a Chelsea player, you join a team where you're having a good time of it, you've just scored in a European final. Do you want to join Chelsea? Take a hit on your wages? No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to go back on loan to a club where you're not going to play football. Then you get an opportunity to go to Villa. You don't pull up any trees there. That's why you're linked with, where did you say? Saudi?
Saudi and Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Like he will go and he'll go and earn a lot of money playing for FC Dubai. And realistically, that's what should happen.
You just made that up, but there is a team called FC Dubai.
Is there really?
Yeah, John Joe Shelby, I think, owns it.
Really?
Or it's part owner or something.
Right, well, that's where Jadon Sancho belongs. Like he isn't the player that he should be. He isn't a Premier League footballer. And in a decade's time or 2 decades' time, at some point, I guarantee you, Jadon Sancho will look back on the decisions that he made and the priorities that he had and massively regret everything.
With that, and look, certainly not in the same stratosphere, but let's stick with a former or current United player, Marcus Rashford. It looks like Fenerbahce are in for him this summer. They seem to have the amount of money they've got. Everyone seems to kind of land over there. Whether it's Fenerbahce, whether it's Besiktas, everyone seems to land over there.
It's always been a
good move for him. 28, going to Turkey. Champions League football.
Not really. Not really. If you think about how good.
Where did Wilf Zaha go? Was it Galatasaray or Fenerbahce? One of those.
Listen, I just think with regard to Rashford, this is very different to say Sancho. Rashford has proven time and time again quite how good at football he can be. Like, if you think about what Marcus Rashford did, look at the goal, just really, really as a really easy metric. Look at the goals that he scored against Newcastle United in the Champions League last season. Look at the goal, look at the free kick that he scored against Real Madrid in El Clasico for Barcelona. That was very recent. He's played for England at a World Cup. He didn't have a great World Cup. He certainly didn't have a bad World Cup.
That's why
that's the level.
It seems like a big drop off from that.
Of course, it's a drop off because he is capable. I think if he would have taken a hit on his wages, he would have stayed at Barcelona. He's obviously capable of still playing for Manchester United. The wages are a problem. The money that he's become accustomed to has almost been detrimental to him. When he was given that 350, it's almost been detrimental to him because if he was ready to play on 200 grand a week, which is still a fortune, by the way, I think he's playing immediately for Chelsea, immediately for Tottenham, maybe for Manchester United.
Probably still at Barcelona.
Maybe for Barcelona. Yeah. Like, the talent is never the problem with him. And he's proved it. Like, the talent with Jadon Sancho is maybe not the problem, but he hasn't proved it.
Yeah, Rashford being 28, you hope you hope this story doesn't end. Because I still think there's a fantastic player.
I think he could do a job for Manchester United next season.
Mate, I think he could do a job for Arsenal off the left.
So, but he's obviously better than Martinelli.
Yeah.
Obviously better than Martinelli.
These links with Arsenal haven't completely gone away.
It would be a real shame.
By the way, you do see Arsenal and United doing business. It's very rare they go, from Man United to Arsenal, but you steal a lot of that business.
No, it's a weird one. It's a weird one with Marcus Rashford. It feels like with Marcus Rashford, somebody just needs to go, look, mate, you can still be an icon. You can still do it. It wasn't that long ago that the entire Stretford end was singing your name about Marcus Rashford being Manc born and bred. You were loved. Talk to Carrick, take a hit on your wages and dedicate your life to football.
Yeah, just completely go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, when we come back.
Is it the quiz?
It is.
Okay, don't talk to me. You're now my enemy, my mortal enemy.
Been enemies since 4 o'clock.
Game on.
The quiz. Come on, Billy Wiz, where are you?
My issue is, and you say he's in a minority of one at the moment, I'm not sure he is because, we haven't seen the African Federation, for example, come out against him as yet. And you know what? I've got this feeling he won't be forced to resign because he's shown his vanity. He's shown this astonishing lack of self-awareness. It's absolutely beyond belief that I think he will be so difficult to prize out of his position. You know, David Bernstein's going to be on later on, and he will tell us how difficult it was to get rid of Sepp Blatter. And I think we're in a similar situation.
That's a good point. Yeah, look, I totally understand that. But I know that he lost a couple of seniors, people in senior positions. I think over the last few days at FIFA, people have resigned. And I just always feel when that sort of stuff starts happening, when others that a few weeks ago were reasonably close to him, all of a sudden have now just gone in the middle of the night in a puff of smoke, they're out the door. And I'm sure others would be tempted to follow. I just feel that I don't think it's going to happen quickly, Jeff, whatever's going to happen. I'm sure it's going to be pretty protracted and drag out over the months ahead. But I do think eventually this will end with someone stepping forward, a credible contender that they feel could take FIFA forward in a different direction. And I'm pretty sure eventually something will happen and he'll probably stand down.
Here we go. Here we go.
What it's all about. This is what the show boils down to. This is the point of my life.
Cut the music.
This is it.
Listen to Drive on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings in partnership with Giacomo. Get fresh looks and great brands from Giacomo. Following us from 7 o'clock. Flex hosts the Transfer Insiders. He has broadcaster Villa fan Dan Bardell alongside him. It's now time for this. Billy Wiz is in the studio.
Evening, lads.
Everything
I can't tell you how much I look forward to these.
I know you do.
Like, you know, I absolutely love these.
Bill, when you open that door, my heart flutters.
God.
I'm so excited for this.
It's crazy.
It's everything I am comes down to beating Oladipo now.
Are we together or against each other?
You're against each other.
Let's go.
So this is
Let's
it.
go. No, this is football. This is no music.
This is music today,
Yes.
lads.
Yes.
It's
Mate.
round 2.
Let's go.
Of Guess the Intro.
Yeah, it should be round 2 of Guess the Intro as well.
No.
Time to redeem yourself, Ade.
Yeah, exactly. He's giving you an opportunity.
I'm opting out of this.
You've embarrassed yourself once.
I'm opting out of this.
Bill, I respect you and I respect your quiz.
I've seen the songs and they are random, but I think you'll do
on,
all
Bill.
right.
No, hang on a minute. That doesn't make sense, does it? The songs are random, but I think you're going to do okay.
I don't know music.
Okay, well then I pick what songs.
You're,
I
Bill,
want to go first.
you're giving him so much good ammunition to me.
Bill, who do you think should go first?
When he came in today, the one thing he said was, "I smashed you last week." He holds on to it forever. Look at him. Holds on to it forever like a little kid.
Ade can go first, as he's clearly not.
Oh, really? I'd like to go first, please,
happy
Bill.
with the format of the quiz.
You're clearly not happy with me going first, are you?
No, so the songs are random.
You've tailored this to Ade. It's going to be 2-pack after 2-pack.
You'll hear the first note of a song, Ade.
Go on.
Just tell me who it is.
Go on.
I know that.
See you when I go next door. Is that one? Was that Shaggy?
What's it called? What's it called? Bill, a cool clock on this. What's it called?
Right, he's working out. He's getting
No,
there.
he's taking too long.
It wasn't me.
Oh, you little.
Yeah. You're on the board, Addy.
On the ball? There's a tapping.
Shaggy, it wasn't me.
Next door. Come on, you boy.
That's annoying.
Come on.
Got off to a flying start.
1-0,
Come on.
Rory.
Now give him something from the 1920s or something.
Over to you, Rory.
Yeah.
Stop.
Acceptable in the 80s, Calvin Harris.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would not even got like.
There you go. There you go, mate. That's what you call 1-0. I've scored my penalty now. I'm walking back to the halfway line, eyeing you up.
What a start, lads. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I can feel it.
Clearly won't be. That was.
No, it won't. No.
That is a what?
Addy, here comes your second song.
I'm sorry. Is that start the Odyssey or something? What on earth was that? One more time. I'm going to hear it again. Oh!
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
I know the song, but I don't know the rest of anything.
It's a.
As long as he doesn't know it. No, stop, because you're giving him ammunition.
Does pass over. Rory is working it out as well.
I can see it.
You got anything, Addy?
Your touch.
No. I don't even know who sings it. Don't know who sings it.
I don't know.
Noah, do you know? I'm looking at no. You know. How do you know this stuff?
I know the song.
Do you know the singer as well?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know what it's called.
That's all right then.
Nothing from either of you?
No, go on.
I can feel
That was The Weekend. Blinding Lights by The Weekend. The most streamed song of all time. So you can't say I'm not giving you. I'm not giving you
The most
a song.
This is so bad.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna get on the trainers, put my glass on, and put my hat
See,
down.
the thing is, The Weekend is huge now, right? I don't listen to anything that's been recorded like post 2000. I don't know, since like the Arctic Monkeys released AM. I don't know anything since then. 2013.
Yeah.
Still 1-1. Rory, over to you.
Time's up. Game over.
Man, no, you can't do that.
Oh,
you can't
I know
speak
this
over
one.
my song.
No,
I didn't hear it. Jack, I need to hear it.
Jack, 1 second, Jack. 1 sec, Jack. Stop. Jack,
you pipe down over there.
Jack's going too long for you, though.
You can't.
Jack, you're going too long, though, Jack.
All right, one more time.
Start again in 1 second. Go on.
I don't know that.
Oh, I thought this was a bit of you, Rory.
I don't know it.
Is it? What are you doing?
I don't know that.
Sorry, 1 second. What's he doing?
I mean, I don't know.
What's he doing?
You're allowed to hear it as well, though. I don't know, so that's doing you a favour.
Passing over.
Yeah, this is passed over. Rory's he's not got it.
I think it was Heartbroken.
No,
I'm heartbroken.
It's not, is it? I know who sung that. They were called not T-Pain. What are they called? I know who sung that.
And I don't know what to do. Remember Michael Richards was in
never feel this way.
Dun, dun, dun. But I get half a point because I don't know the singer.
Hang on. I know the singer, though. So we're going to get one each.
We've already passed over. No, we're not getting one each. We've already passed over. I get half a point.
All right,
Michael Richards was in there. Remember the old Range Rover in the video?
Was Michael Richards?
He did. He turned up.
They're called.
Doesn't matter. I get half a
What
point.
are they called?
We can do half points. That was T2.
Oh!
Wait. Am I winning?
You're half a point up.
And it's me knowing it.
It's over to you. Yeah.
Come on.
1.5.
Hey, fancies your quiz now, Bill.
1.5 to 1. Addy, over to you.
Go on. I'm still standing.
No!
Yeah. Elton John, baby.
Oh!
Elton John, baby. Come on.
He's a 1.5 ahead.
Oh, no, that's a disaster.
Come on.
Oh, God, the pressure's on now. I wilt under pressure. I'm terrible.
Rory, you need this.
Honestly, under any kind of pressure in my life, you should have seen. I nearly fainted when my kid was born. I'm so not the man for the job now.
You need this one, Rory. You ready?
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Be quiet, Oladipo. Yes, that is Running Up the Hill by Kate Bush.
It is indeed.
How'd you?
Well done.
Get up there. It's a banger.
Time's up.
It's a
Time's
real
up.
banger.
That's a great song, isn't it?
Great song.
Time's up, innit?
No.
Wait, what's the score?
It's 2.5.
No, you
2.5 to 2.
Mate, you're not in charge of the time.
Look at the time.
Yeah, but you're not in charge of it. Go. You keep talking.
We got one more.
We got one more. Maybe one more each. Addy, over to you.
Just me.
Just Addy. Oh, God.
Just that one.
I can play it again, though. I can give you that one again. I'll get that one again. Oh. Elvis Presley. But what is it called?
I think Rory might know.
Okay, pass over.
Addy, I've been told it's got to go over to Rory.
Which means
but you only get half.
a little less conversation.
That is it, yeah. Half a point each. I think Ade takes
That's a draw.
No, ain't half a point
That's
each.
a draw.
Half a point each means I'll take it.
He was half a point ahead.
Nice working with you, son.
No, it's terrible. I'm gonna do that. Who were we talking about earlier? Who didn't shake hands when he should have done?
Goldstein.
Goldstein. I'm gonna do a Goldstein.
You've been listening to Drive myself, Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings. Up next is Flex, Dan Bardell, Transfer Insiders. Don't forget the big one, the legend, Wee Man is back. Mr. Alan Brazil from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I'll be back tomorrow from 4 with former Wales defender Ashley Williams.
The good news about Areola is he went through this with Bournemouth. He lost the whole back four. Yeah. And he had some late signings at Bournemouth. And look how they turned out. And look what he did. And I'm pretty sure with the Liverpool ownership, I can be critical of any ownership, including my own, but over the years, they've spent money and they've won a couple of league titles. Last year, they spent nearly £500 million. You could argue that maybe they overspent in some areas and should have spent in others. But that's hindsight. Nobody was criticising the window at the time. 100% everyone thought we'd walk the league. Yeah. And this is football 12 months later where everyone thinks now we're the worst top 6 team in the Premier League. So I dare say Liverpool will look very different by the time the window closes. Let's hear from Dominic Szoboszlai